But no, Beth, your goes crashing down. Determination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory. Hello everybody and welcome to week 3 of the CVRcade World Cup. We've had some amazing racing already. We've had Solo Cup on Tuesday. We've had the Derny Cup on Thursday, and it's time to round off the week the best way we know how. The best of the best teams on CVRcade all duking it out. There will be some grudge matches from last week that we will see here, how they will perform, how they will act out. We've got 4 events as always. Dark Matter Tech, first one up. We've got Roman Arena coming back to the racing. We've got Kate Peak, and we finish on a very technical map, Tiki Turned. It's gonna be awesome. It's going to be great. We have a little thing to show you down here below with the teams you will be seeing today. You'll see Cognition, Team Hive, Havoc, Cycling Up Velocity, and the Cade Exhibition team that's taking part in the racing as well. Live streaming in from across the world. We've got from Germany, we've got the Cognition captain, we've got Sebastian Kuhn, who's ready to go. Team Cycling Hub's captain, Quentin Molyneux out of Belgium. He's here ready to race. We've got Velocity, Team Velocity's captain today, the Swedish chef, Carl Axel Sander, who's getting ready to race as well. From Team Havoc, we've got Rick Woods, who will be streaming into the broadcast today. He is ready to represent Team Havoc. For Team Hive, it is Timothy Termont with a different setup today here. He's got the Hive sticker on, he's got the shirt, he's got Glenn in the room being the director sportive as well. And then last but not least, the captain on the screen, you'll see is Frank Garcia, making his last return here, his last racing in the CVRcade World Cup as he's getting the experience in. So we'll see what he's got to bring today. But with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go, let's get a chat with Cognition's team leader, because he was in for week 1, he was out for week 2. Sep, now you are back in. What is it like to be back again?
Yeah, it feels good, and we have a strong team today, so we're going for the win.
And how does being team captain, how does that feel? What's the pressure like? You know, you get 1.5 scoring multiplier, you've seen Quentin do it so well. Are you going to be able to match up with Quentin's abilities today?
I don't know, I have no pressure. I always try to do my best. It doesn't matter if I'm captain or not.
Well, I like it, Seb. Always modest, always ready. Sebastian Kuhn, Germany, and the team captain of Team Cognition. Every team here is bringing 4 riders to the start line. You heard Seb say that he's happy with the team that they are bringing. Well, of course, once the racing begins, get a better overview of who's in here. But last week, it was Velocity, it was Team Cycling Hub at the very, very top. And Quentin's captain's points were what really made the difference come the end. We'll see what's going to happen. Here in Dark Matter Tech, we do have a new super being introduced into the low skill event. We have got the Racer's Edge coming in here. Now, we've already got like 25 riders taken to the start line, which means we'll see speeds of like 90, 95 kilometers an hour. Add in the Racer's Edge, and we're going to see these riders fly as they get underway. It is the top 3 scorers in the event that do count, and the emphasis is on the captain, who scores 1.5 times more than the rest of the team, pending their position. So we'll see. Casey Shum here off to an early start. We try and log on back. We have 17 riders all making the start here initially. Ben Shuilong, though, has been dropped off. Team Hive has lost one rider already. So Kayla, Jennifer, and Timothy, one rider down. There's no way Ben's getting back. Timothy, the team captain, out of the saddle. He's got the saddle back as well underneath his bike, but that's not going to help. The comeback kid super, that is 2 riders for Team Hive, and not how they wanted to start this one, with their team captain and their other rider down in 18th place. Looking up, Carl Axel Sander as well, another team captain being shelled off the back, and he's going 60 kilometers an hour while those in the front are doing 85. Incredible speeds here already. You can see Quinton, look at the pace they're going. Contrast that with what we saw from Carl Axel Sander, from Timothy Tamont, from Ben Shuilong near the back. It is just night and day here as you see the riders pushing on through. Yes, Timothy Tamont does have a new camera angle as they're getting ready for something very, very fun next Thursday in the Derny Cup. So here we've got 16 riders making up the front. You can see the scoreboard down in the bottom left. Top 3 scorers in the event matter. This sprint is going to be mental. We're at 90 kilometers an hour already, and the riders will be spinning out now as the speed increases. 500 meters to go. Get ready for the sprint here. The first event is coming to an end. Sebastian stands up. He pushes down the pressure here. 1,000 equalized watts, but it may be too early as he hits the front. 200 meters. It's Luis, it's Moti, it's Kayla, it's Frank Garcia in 4th, in 2nd. It pushes on through. But I think Moti Pikelny takes the lead on that one as everyone comes to a standstill after they finish the last corner. That was incredible speeds on that one. Timothy still trailing. Let's load up the instant replay because right now, Team Cognition, 7 points in the lead. Cycling Hub, 66.6 points. You've got Havoc at 62.9. And then we're waiting for Hive and Velocity to finish. Now, we're seeing the racing here finish from Timothy's point of view as you see the highlights once more. Now, our main camera rider is not going to the next event, but we will, of course, make sure he does. Now he does go to the next event. So we're seeing the highlights here once more. 6 seconds left here as they just fly through the finish line. Just in a blink of an eye, Moti timed his sprint finish. You saw Rick, you saw Frank come across the line. Let's go and hear from Sebastian once more, because Cognition coming through with that one. Seb, you launched your sprint early. Moti first across the line. It couldn't really have been a better start for you guys.
Yeah, very happy with this start. So let's go on like this.
Well, that's what you gotta do now. 3 more races coming up. Sebastian, here you've got the scoreboard. Let's go down and chat with Quinton Molinez, because Team Cycling Up 66.6 points in 2nd place. Quinton, last week I think you outscored the next highest scorer by like 60, 80, if not 100 points. Quinton, more of the same this week from you guys in the Cycling Hub crew?
I don't know. We'll see. It's different every week, so we'll see.
You've got Chris again in here. Last week he was the bright spot for you guys alongside yourself. Has Chris been practicing? Have you guys been teaching him some stuff? What's that process been like?
Yeah, we duct taped Chris on the bike for the last 7 days, so it'll be perfect today.
I like it. I do really like it. Quinton and Casey both streaming in from Team Cycling Up. 3rd across the line was Rick Woods and Team Havoc. Let's see if Rick can hear us. Rick, good start from you guys this week here with the first event up. You're 3rd across the line. What's the mood like in Team Havoc? Oh, I'm not sure that Rick can in fact hear me. So we will come back to him at a later stage. A team who managed to save their result there near the end. Team Hive, they lost out on 24 points to Cognition in that one, who are currently in the lead. Let's go and hear from Timothy Tamont here. So he's got his new camera angle. Timothy, last race didn't quite go according to plan with both you and Ben getting spat early.
Yeah, it was very hassle to set everything up. I got in the event like 50 seconds to go, so yeah, I had to switch power sources and everything because I was connected to Bluetooth, not N plus, and all this and that. So I had 30 seconds of warm up, and yeah, I missed the first group. So it's not the greatest starts, but hey, if it's one event that could go wrong, it's that one. So on to the next three, and we still got this.
Crucial Ball says go Hive in the chat. What's the strategy here on Roman? Cognition currently leading, then you've got Cycling Hub. Is there a specific team here you're going to be keeping your eyes on?
Yeah, no, we just gotta be at the front and follow the moves, I guess. Put some people in a break if possible and control the race, I think. So yeah, let's just follow some moves, I guess.
Follow some moves. It comes from Timothy Tamont and Team Hive. They're fourth here on the line. Now let's go and see with Velocity's team captain. They do have Carl Axel Sander here in the broadcast. As we'll see if he's going to put his headphones on in time. On Thursday, it was a battle of whether or not Carl was going to put them on. He looks across the screen and there he sees it. Swedish chef Carl Axel Sander, fifth in the last race. What happened to you guys?
Oh yeah, me and Jeff screwed up early. The interesting question of Dark Matter is Velo. No, it's not the Velo. It's the what it's called.
Tech.
Fire,
Dark Matter
no?
Tech.
Tech. Yeah, it, really fast speed. And it's no skill event, and you have corners, so you drop, to like from like 120% drop, you drop to like 70 in the corners. So you have to. It's a more you have to push evenly. So I was just accelerating up to the blob, and then I took it easy, and then they went away and. There's no coming back from that.
Now, last week, Carl, you were really up there near the front. You battled it out with Chris Pritchard, with Quinton Molinez in this medium skill event. Now you go again. Do you like this sort of racing where you've got Uncrashable as an ability?
Oh, yeah. I think I like power courses and no crashes and just tactics. I didn't enjoy so much. We had the kind of blocking strategies last. Maybe it was in a Derny race 2 weeks. When you exploit it to the max, just sweep blocking. But I think we don't have the block it rocket Jonathan Juron. I think we have to. So maybe it's going to be different.
No block it rocket,
We'll
no Ryan Goldenberg. I think we're all safe out here. Good luck, Carl. Good luck to all the rest who we chatted to. 40 seconds to go until the racing gets underway. I like that a few of you have already noticed that. Roman Arena has gotten a bit of an overhaul, so it looks differently now. Luis is noticing the bit of vegetation on the side. Again, you can see the teams here. That was a request from you guys earlier this week to see the teams, see the jerseys. We did also have another animation down here in terms of the prize money, because the winning team will walk away with $250 here. $5,000 for whoever wins the grand finale, of course. Now, we had to take it out last minute because we're adding one thing at a time. You may also notice the new supers that are coming up on the screen here. So supers is the extra bit of power you can give yourself in the game. So see if you can notice them when they pop up. But here we go. Second race of the day. Roman Arena. Uncrashable as an ability. It is rider versus rider. It is team versus team. Whoever can come up with the best strategy, act under pressure, and has got the legs will come out on top. Well, you gotta sprinkle in a bit of luck on top. But if you got everything going for you, you'll be looking to go in strong on this one. We're gonna see Ryan Goldenberg not even racing and Jesper throwing shade. I love Ryan. Ryan's a really good friend. He was the one who sent me the Velocity kit, so it goes back and forth, but off to a strong start here. Daniel LeBlanc, Sebastian Kuhn into the breakaway with Luis Sobranis in third. So Cognition trying to come out here and hit early. And on the scoreboard, preliminary, you can see it's working. They're first. They're 70 points ahead here, but it is very early in the racing. Top left corner here, Chris Pritchard, the sensation of week 2, is continuing where he left off here. But if we go back in the group, we look at some of the other captains. You've got Quinton Molinez. He looks to be chilling. He looks to be happy here with Niels Heldens in front of him, with Ben Shui along to the left. He's got Frank behind him as well, but you've got to be careful as he's trying to do the truly and tested method of slamming your heart rate strap until it wakes up so you can see your real heart rate. But when you're this far down, you've got to be careful that the moves up ahead don't get away. But the pack right now is strung out. No one is quite up the road yet. You can see Cognition. But if you are Frank, if you are Jennifer, if you are Aaron right now, you're getting draft out here. Frank's probably getting on the straightaway about 40-50% here when he's in line. And so you can save that energy, but you've got to fight for the wheel. Looking down, you've got Carl, Axel, Sander, the Velocity Vixen captain here. They've got 3 riders near the back here. So what are they planning? Now this again is awesome. You're seeing one stretched out line. It's like they're ready for takeoff. They just got to spread out their wings and they're gonna fly. But Carl does not have the draft here. He's on the outside. He's moving on up. He is uncomfortable with his position further down. He's trying to move on up here, and he does. He's got Quentin in front. Niels Hilden's looking strong. You've got Chris Pritchard. You've got John Pyle currently at the front here, who for Team Havoc has been a really nice bright spot on the racing here. He came in to the CVRcade Solo Cup, but as this is happening, you cannot sleep. There's an attack happening on the front. We're entering Roman Arena Hill. If we can bring up the mini-map, you will see that we're on the hill currently here. Up top right corner, Sebastian Kuhn, Luis Soberanese using the hill to their advantage, and they're shelling out Nils. They're shelling out Chris. And the most important factor here is that it's the captain of Cognition who is in the breakaway. 1.5 time multiplier here. If you are Sebastian, if you are the move happening here in the front, you've got to make sure to stay with it. So we're going to see how this one pans out towards the end, as they're being trailed by Niels Helden's Chris Pritchard, Frank Garcia at 192 here. In case you hadn't seen it, Frank Garcia did make a public post in Cade Rider saying this would be the last race last week that he joined in the racing. So I think we're going to see a bit of a sprint finish here from Frank. This is the sort of racing we know he loves. He likes Roman Arena. He's done well on this in the past. And so he stays on the wheel of Chris and Niels. Further back, so far, so good for Team Hive as well, with Kayla Laguna, with Jennifer Garcia, but Timothy Tamont seems to be nowhere to be found currently in the top 17. As Casey got Quentin here on the left, Timothy Tamont way out the back here. Timothy, what's happening?
Hey, Jesper?
Hello, what's happening?
Yeah, it's terribly laggy. I'm like 30 seconds behind on the game from what I see. So if I move, it's like 30 seconds till I move. I can't do anything here.
I got it. Sounds like you need another extra life to your computer. We got you, Timothy. Unfortunate news for the team captain of Team Hive. Oh, is Luis there? Slows down to a halt. Can we bring that up on the replay? What was that? That was a missile. We're looking to the right here and we're trying to see Luis in the blue jersey of Cognition. Do we catch it in time here? I think Luis gives up. Luis might be tiring out on the front, and as he lets Sebastian go, I think he slams on the brakes to try and slow down the group behind him. Not sure about that one. But we will see as the racers move on through. Blocket Rocket may not be here, but Cognition is still. It doesn't pay off though. I'm not sure it succeeded in much. Frank, Chris are up here. Jennifer down in fourth. Casey Shum as well. It's a long race. Oh, Luis says a dropout. Luis says a dropout. So that's what happened. When you do get a dropout though, CVRcade is super clever. When you come back, it gives you all the power you should have had. And so you get this massive increase to come back, which is only fair. And if you use it to your advantage, it can be a nice recovering move on back here. Fulford says also looked like a dropout. Sorry, I only caught the very end of it as we're looking at the back. Side by side, Quentin Molyneux here on the left, Sebastian Kuhn on the right. Two of the captains on two of the top favorite teams here today in week 3 of the CVRcade World Cup. We're racing for $250 for first. Then there's prize money as well for second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. But how much do you actually want to take away here today? Sebastian with a massive effort, but he's being marked by Cade X's team leader, captain Frank Garcia, and then Chris Pritchard there as well. Moti playing a bit of the wrecking ball. If you look on the left here, Quentin is smiling. It's Moti on the front here, just marking it. He's keeping it slow. He's deceptively, trying to slow down the pacing here as he gets on the wheel of Casey Shum. But looking from above, you can see this race is far from over. We've got two groups on the road. We've got a group 12 seconds up consisting of Sebastian Kuhn, Frank Garcia, and Chris Pritchard. Two sprinters and a machine in Sebastian Kuhn. As you see them standing up, we're getting ready to do Roman Arena Hill for the second time of racing here today. And Sebastian is hitting it hard. He wants to get rid of the rest. Definitely had his Weetabix this morning. As Quentin moves on up, Kayla, Carl, they need to get some cooperation here in the secondary chase group if they want to catch Sebastian, want to catch Frank on the front. Because when you look on the scoreboard, Cognition look good with their captain in the lead. Cycling Hub with Quentin here as well. Maybe looking good. So the meta game will evolve. You're trying to get your captain up as high as possible, but Frank is at 197 equalized heart rate. Sebastian Kuhn at 194. Chris at 194. Kayla at 194. Moti at 197. These riders are giving it absolutely everything to stay with the front group here. Even when they get the draft, they've still got to fight to be there. You've still got to mark the moves, increase the equalized wattages, because now Sebastian, he goes again. Another bit of increase here as Frank opens the door. He says, Chris, come on by. Come on, Chris. Your time to take a turn here on the front and close it down. And Sebastian absolutely just going for it. But then the question is, we've got two more races after this. We've got Cade Peak and we've got Tiki Turns. Both races require a lot of energy. How much energy is Sebastian Kuhn exerting here? Because now he's riding away. 3 seconds is the gap. 4 seconds is the gap. Frank Garcia, Chris Pritchard, will they work together? We see their equalized watts, 200, 200, side by side here. They don't look to be working together. Chris goes to the right. Frank is not taking a turn here. This is the end of the cooperation here in the secondary chase group. And the reason why Chris is not taking a turn is because he's got Quentin further back. He wants Quentin to move on up. And here, it is Quentin on his own, dragging the entire group. We're at the halfway point. We've got 2 more laps left here, and Sebastian Kuhn absolutely drilling it on the front. He's got Moti Pikelny down here in the chasing group, but that's it. They've got 1st and they have got 7th here, and then Luis Sobranis is making his way back. As you can see now, as the chasing group is being caught, Moti Pikelny again, moving left, moving right, slotting back in to get the draft. But what we have seen before in the CVRcade World Cup is that the scoreboard can change in an instant. It is your top 3 scorers in the event that do count. And that can change come the end. Now, there are no supers available in this one, but in some of the other races, there are. So in this one, you have got to plan your energy acceleration at the right time. And Sebastian is just saying, you know what? I want to do the Casey Shum strategy. I want to ride on my own here and get away. As Nigel, the team captain, Nigel down here, team captain earlier in week 1, Vibeke in week 2. Now it's Carl Axel Sander in week 3. He is moving on up, and despite a poor start from Velocity in the first event, they are a team to look out for, as Carl Axel Sander has been riding up. He has been rising in the ranks, and now we see him again. He hits the front. Every other team, though, if I'm them, I would consider reaching around, maybe getting your WhatsApp, your messenger out, maybe if you've got access, jump into their audio channels, because Sebastian Kuhn is a rather large threat, being the captain of Cognition. He's got a 20-second gap here. You'd really want to try and catch him back, but Cycling Hub is limiting their losses. You can see the scoreboard down in the bottom left here. They're only 8 points behind because Chris is in 3rd, Casey's in 6th, and Quentin in 4th here. And you would imagine that Quentin, they would try and get him up as high as possible. Obviously, we got DK Mansuni in the chat. We got Dudat Athlete, got Mutt KG, we got Fulford, we got everybody, Crucial Ball, we got Deathside, we got Glenn, we got Beth. We've got all the cool kids in the chat joining us in here. What do you guys think? Sebastian Kuhn, 25 second, 30 second gap here. Do you reckon he's going to be able to keep it all the way to the end? Or do you think he will burn out like a blazing star come the end of this? Kayla Laguna, she has also found a bit of form here again. She's at 193. Team Hive member. She's now increasing the pace on the front. Team Hive not having the best of luck, as Timothy Tamont is having some issues near the back. Their team captain, as Casey now comes to the forefront in the chasing group. We've got 2 more ascents of Roman Arena Hill. This is the first one, and we'll see as the chasing group here. It is still incredibly large, and this is a testament to physical equalization. Everybody has the opportunity to be in the same spot if they exert the same sort of energy, if they've got the skill set, if they've got the mentality at the right time to push through. And we're seeing several riders, 15 riders, all near the front here, as Quentin doesn't want to hit the back wheel of Chris there. He sacrifices the draft. He goes away from Carl here, and he might be trying to move it on up. Scoreboard, Team Cycling has officially taken the lead now. And as I say that, they move on bound. So it's all changing around. But if you keep an eye on here, Sebastian may be winning, but the secondary positions here from Luis, from Moti, from Daniel LeBlanc are ever so crucial on the big picture. So keep that in mind as we enter the last lap of racing here. Sebastian way out in the front. It's now up to 30 seconds as he is riding on through. But the fight here is going to light up. It's going to heat up here on the final lap. Crucial says Kayla all the way. DK says Seb's got this race. He's a beast when he's best when he's dead. Yes, that is definitely an understatement as Casey now comes to the front. He is stringing out the pack here. His main objective here is to try and get Quinton Molinez as high up in the rankings as possible while maintaining a good position for himself. Now we go. Somebody's going to ring the bell here for the main group. Kayla Laguna takes the pack on through here. Roman Arena. First race on the new look here. There is 14 riders all in this chasing group. Vibeke Bertram, Frank Garcia, Jeff Rooney, Rick Woods, Jennifer Garcia, Moti P. Kelney, Ben Shuilong, Louis Sober and Nice, Casey Shum, Chris Pritchard, Nigel Doyle, Carl Axel Sander, Quinton Molinez and Kayla Laguna make up the chasing group here. Nigel Doyle. He is trying to stay here. I think he might be trying to open up a gap here to his team, to his captain. Carl Axel Sander in 4th. Nigel not choosing, as I say that, he increases the pace here to 500 equalized watts. So I think he was gapping it there, but then he realized maybe that's not what I want to do. But there's definitely a gap happening regardless. And 2 cognition riders are caught on the wrong side of this. And Moti and Louise, they see this. They close it on down. Kayla's at 196 equalized heart rate. And Luis come on through. So right now what the scoreboard looks like is not what it's going to look like come the end. This final ascent of Roman Arena Hill. If we can bring up the scoreboard, so bring up the mini-map, I can show you where they are in just a second here. As you will see, you got the first bit of incline here. They've already done that. They're on the top. Then they come through the tiny archaeology, the tiny little hut. I don't know really what you want to call it. Then when they go through that, they've got a descent, and then they hit Roman Arena Hill for the last time of racing. Sebastian is 30 seconds up the road here. Luis in 2nd place is pushing it on through. But once we hit that hill, somebody's going to light it up. You know Quentin's going to do it. You know Casey's going to do it. You know Carl. You know if Frank is up there, he's going to try. But I see Frank is 25 seconds down, paying for the earlier efforts as we're coming on through here. Sebastian still 30 seconds up the road here. It will be an incredibly tough ask to try and get him back as he's about to take on Roman Arena Hill for the last time of racing here. And next on up is Cape Peak 3 laps. This is a tough race, and you're about to do something very similar again without Uncrashable. Can you keep the mind fresh? Have you kept the legs open? Can you go as hard again? Those are the questions that are going to be asked of Sebastian Kuhn as he has hit the hill here and he pushes on through. And we see Quinton Molinez here in the chasing group, the Belgian, the captain of Team Cycling Hub. He moves on down here. He gets on the wheel of Casey, and watch this. They're coming on through. Everybody moves over. They try to line up and they try to get ready as they go. There goes Quinton. Quinton, 1,000 equalized watts. He pushes on through. We'll look over the shoulder. Is there anyone there? Carl Axel Sander, Chris Pritchard, Moti Pikelny, Luis Sobranis, Casey Shum, as Carl Axel Sander comes over the top. And he gives Quinten a tiny bit of a draft here, but he takes it away again. He moves to the right. 198, 199 for Carl, 194 for Quinten. They're pushing everything they've got currently. As you can see, Carl, his hair is starting to come untangled. I saw 200 equalized heart rate for Carl, as he's got a 1 second gap. 400 meters to go for Sebastian Kuhn currently. But the battle is going on near the back here. Sebastian is going to win the race, but who? Which team is going to get the most amount of points? It's Chris Pritchard. Team Cycling Hub comes on through here, and he is going to take it up. 196 from Chris, 196 from Carl, 192 from Quinten Molinese. And Chris Pritchard, once again, last week it was Cityscape New York. This week, Roman Arena. Fantastic effort. 100 meters to go. Sebastian Kuhn, he sips up the jersey. We get the celebration. We go back to Carl because he's pushing with Chris Pritchard here on the line. A heads-up sprint. 197, 195. But Carl has absolutely nothing left. Team Cycling Hub will get second. But the captain here, if we go back, there's a second sprint going on. Quinten versus Moti. Quinten is going to win it, but the second spot behind him, I'm not sure if Nigel got that in front of Moti. I think Moti wins it by an inch, as once again the lights have turned off in Rick Wood's building. Good finish. Cognition win first place on that one. Moti with a great result. Chris and Quinten, great result as well. Carl up there. And what that means, if you can see the scoreboard down here, 227 for Cognition, 213.6 for Cycling Hub, Velocity 184, then Havoc, Hive, and Cade Exhibition. Let's load up the instant replays, because what a race! I mean, those races are amazing to watch. We've got the finale here once again, and as we do it, I mean, look at Chris coming through the corner here. He pushes it with everything he's got to try and get rid of Carl. And as they get ready for the sprint, Carl just doesn't have anything left to get onto the wheel. And you visibly see him say, nope, I ain't got it. I'm saving this one. I'm getting third on this one and taking the points with me. As we go through it, let's just hear from Carl here. Because actually, I don't think Carl's got his headphones on. So we can go to Sepp instead. Sepp, the question is, are you dead yet?
Totally.
Totally.
I did not want to go so early alone, but Chris and Frank did not work.
I mean, yeah, I saw you with Chris, I saw you with Frank. What was that like to be in that group? And I couldn't see, it looked like Frank was helping a tiny bit, Chris was too, but it wasn't enough for you?
No, they did not really help. They just sat on my wheel.
That is what sprinters do, I do believe. So they played it out how they wanted to play it out. But Seb, now we go again. I mean, you've just done a massive effort, very little drafting. Are you ready for Cade Peak?
No, I need an hour rest. Can we pause the game?
Yeah, everybody, tea break here. Sebastian, good luck. Cognition across the line here. Let's go and see with Carl Axel Sander as he finished third behind Chris Pritchard here. So we'll see if Carl... Now, we do get bonus points for being able to be interviewed and have audio throughout all the time. So that is something that Carl should be cognitioned about here. Carl, towards the end there, going against Chris, it looked like you just said, no, I'm not going to sprint against him. Was that the case?
Yeah, I think I gave up, like, and came back, like, 3 times in 1 second. I'm gonna fight him, and then and I'm just gonna have a good gap behind, so I could just save my legs, and I couldn't decide my mind.
Indecision sometimes can be the killer, but it looked like it could pay off. Good return though, compared to the first race. Now we go again, event 2. But the same question as I asked Sepp. The legs here, Cade Peak 3rd event. Do you reckon you're fresher than Seb at this point, or do you reckon Seb is just a machine?
Oh, again? What do you mean?
Here in this race, you're going again, Cade Peak. It's a powerful map. You've got to go hard. Seb and yourself have just pushed really hard in Roman Arena. Which of the two, you or Seb, do you think is the freshest coming into this one?
Oh, hard question. I can say, I did put down some effort on Roman race. I'm pretty tired here, so gonna do my best, but I'm a bit uncertain. But it's gonna be fun though. This course looks really interesting. I've been practicing some this afternoon.
Well, good luck on this one, Carl. We'll see if the practice pays off. You can crash in this one. I remember Electric Fidget not too long ago. I loved seeing your facial reactions. Let's go to Quentin Molyneux here as quite the battle on the last one. I'm not sure if he is back or he's laying down. Quentin, what's going on here?
That hurt a lot. I don't know if I have anything left now, because that was...
Well, you got it's only 3 laps of Cape Peak. It's only 8.6 kilometers.
Yeah, gonna be a long 8.6 kilometers.
Looking across your team, is this where Casey, Chris, Nils earn their paycheck?
Probably.
I'll let you get ready here at the last second. Looks like Quentin Molyneux suffering. I can see Casey is a bit laughy. Let's hear from Casey here, because Casey's smiling. What's going on?
If he's counting on these 2 legs, we're done. If Seb's got a repeat performance like that, I am smoked. That hurt really, really bad. But good. I mean, it was just good, hard racing. And that's just what equalization is about. Seb just beasted off the front. And we just, I mean, really, it was go as hard as you could and not get popped. And you slowly saw people kind of pop off the back. But it was ugly anytime somebody went.
40 seconds to go. Hopefully Casey has got something in his legs, because it looked like Quentin definitely did not have much left. Nils and Chris. Chris has been excellent. I do sincerely hope that Chris is live streaming over to his own YouTube channel, because I would love to see his point of view. 200 equalized heart rate in the last one. 20 seconds to go before the racing gets underway here. Cade Peak. If we can cut to a full screen here, we can show you the mini-map, because this is a turny, it's a twisty race here. It is a race that we haven't raced before in the CVRcade World Cup history. You heard from Carl that he's been practicing it, he's been training it. Well, is it going to pay off? Because this is where, the $250 there's up for whoever scores the most points in the Omnium per team today. That is where you really come into your own, because Tiki Turns is a very technical map. As Timothy Tamont has come back, it looks like he's solved his issues. Is it too little too late? It doesn't look like it. With a stellar performance here from Team Hive, they may be able to take a good result here and move up the rankings, because there is a significant amount of money. But Carl Axel Sander here, right out of the gate, it looks like he's crashed, overlapped the wheels, and just like that, despite having somewhat better legs, maybe you should have sprinted in the last one, because what does he do here? There is a wall. They have built a wall in front of him. He's got one quantum shift that he may have to use. Frank's gone down. Quentin has gone down. He hits the outside here. He can't believe it. And with poor legs, and with maybe some struggle up in the mentality department now, if you're feeling tired, some mistakes are going to come through. Carl, the team captain of Velocity, one mistake. Quentin, a mistake. Frank, a mistake here. What's going to be the answer as the racing continues here on the front? Sebastian Kuhn, though. Absolutely stellar performance from the German. He was sorely missed last week from Team Cognition. It was Luiso Bernice who did a great job stepping into his place as the substitute team captain. But this week it's all back as Tam Burns crashes down in the back. But what do you do now if you're Team Cycling Hub? Quentin struggling with the legs. Casey, Nils, Chris. It can be damage limitation, but without your captain, it's going to be a tough ask beating someone of the magnitude of Sebastian Kuhn today. As you see him in third, you've got Luis with him in second. Further down, Daniel LeBlanc and Moti are down the rankings. But we're on the hill now. So Cade Peak does have an incline. It has a long, steady, just 2, 4, 5% incline here as they're pushing on up. As Timothy gets caught. Timothy has been passed by Luis. As he gets caught, he does put a bit of a spanner in the works for the rest here, but he's being passed slowly by everyone here as they're catching up. They're dodging the rocks in the road here as the team captain for Team Hive now moves down the rankings. John Pyle for Team Havoc. Another good performance here from John Pyle. Interesting to see what his arc is going to be as there's more and more racing as we get closer to the grand finales towards the end. Now, at the top here of Cade Peak, the hill, there is, as Nigel goes down, there are more rocks you've got to dodge. They're nicely marked with cones on the road so you can see where they are, but you've got to dodge them as we go. First person view here with Timothy Tamont. High. Oh, Ben goes down! Oh, that was a close one for John Pyle, but Ben does not dodge the rock in the middle of the road. He hits the obstacle and he goes down. Sebastian Kuhn here as well, down in 4th now. It looks like he might also be feeling some of the fatigue from the previous race because he went deep. Now, I had the pleasure of trying to do a physical replay Omnium. And once you get into the 3rd, the 4th event here in an Omnium, that's where your legs start to slowly feel it. And we can see as Moti goes down. That is the 4th rider for Team Cognition. Chris goes down, the 3rd rider for Team Cycling Hub, as Quinton passes on through. But here's the thing. It is far from over. And I keep saying it, and I sound like a broken record, but that's because it's true. Ticky Turns, the final map, is the equivalent of Barnyard Velo, of Mountain Bike by Jesper, by Country Rally. It also has the highest scoring multiplier of 2.5. So if you're Cycling Hub, if you're Velocity, if you're Havoc, Hive, etc., you've got to make sure you're limiting your losses. You've got to fight on through, because we have seen Sebastian, we've seen Cognition in the past struggle on the higher skill maps. So maybe, just maybe, as we enter the second lap of racing here on Cade Peak, something could be a stir when we head to Ticky Turns, because there is some very tight corners. There are some ticky masks in the middle of the road you've got to dodge. We'll see. But currently, we are on Cade Peak, and it's unfolding again, as you can see on the scoreboard. As Nils Heldens moves up the rankings here, it is incredibly close. Velocity as well. Carl is moving on up. He's in 12th. He is fighting to come up through here, 11th, 10th now, as he is in a chasing group. He is surrounded by Hive and a teammate. He's got Nigel Doyle with him, and then Vibeke Bertram a bit further up the road here. So if you're Velocity, you might try and bring back Vibeke here and help Carl move on up and make sure you're really utilizing the 1.5 multiplier on the team captain. As we see 2 riders from each team here near the back, Nigel on the headset talking to the team on the front. So we're going to see here Nigel at 182. Got Carl further back. We're going to see here Nigel's at 183. I think 180 might be the limit of which we can go to a rider here. As we can see, Nigel's pushing on through. Casey's in 7th place here at 183. His legs have been feeling it. He's had a hard week. Like Tuesday, I think Casey pretty much did every single zone. Thursday, he rocked out the recumbent bike, which probably worked out muscles that haven't been worked out in years. And now, with all that combined, on the toughest zone of racing there is in the CVRcade World Cup, also the only zone, but it's just really, really good. We're going to see plenty of racing left here as Vibeke Bertram comes on through, and I think Casey loses internet connection. Oh no! We've seen this before from Casey, and once more, oh, he's back, his internet cut out, it's back. Somebody needs to get off Netflix, somebody needs to get off here. Casey is back, but that may be just what he needed. That bit of annoyance, that bit of like, to wake up the legs, give yourself a shock to the system, and we'll see if Casey can push on through. But Sebastian Kuhn, as John crashes, no! John Pyle, Team Havoc. Sebastian Kuhn, you've guessed it. Where do you think he is? In the front again. Having an amazing day on the bike. He didn't do that well on Tuesday. We remember seeing him have a poor performance in 3 of the events. Then in event 4 on Dashed Against the Rocks, we saw angry, tired Sebastian. And you're not going to like angry, tired, dead Sebastian, because he will bring out everything. As we see Quentin down in 15th place here. If he can somehow find his legs and come on up, here's Rick Woods, the team captain, as Casey too crashes in 9th and 10th. So a dual crash, a co-op crash from Team Havoc and Team Cycling Hub. Niels on the front here. Amazing effort from Niels Heldens here as well. But the question beckons, where's Chris Pritchard? I don't see Chris in the top 17 here. Look on down, he's down in 28th position. And this is equalization at work. Chris gave everything on Roman Arena. He fought with everything he had. And in this one, he's paying the price. If you don't have that endurance over 4 events, this is why someone like Sebastian doing this performance on the front, Frank, Quinton fighting their way through is so impressive, because equalization, everybody can go hard for 1 event, but the best over 4, as Kayla almost crashes, that's what it comes down to here as we watch with 3 kilometers remaining on Cade Peak. There are 5 riders making up the front. Team Hive has Timothy. Cognition has Louise and Sebastian. Team Cycling Up has Niels Heldens out of the Netherlands. And you've got Jeff Rooney out of New Zealand riding for Velocity. Then you've got Vibeke Bertram further down. John Pyle, Daniel LeBlanc, Carl Axel Sander, Nigel. This could be an explosive last lap. Don't sleep on Velocity. Like, I feel like seeing Vibeke, she's coming into her own, seeing Carl here, if they have a powerful last lap here in Cape Peak, they may be able to make something up, but Carl's really going to require some power on this one to move on through. Luis with a stellar performance today as well. We'll see if they can make it up as we go back to the front. Luis goes on to the attack here. Luis Soberanis is attacking off the front, but what this is causing is, you can see in the top left, Sebastian Kuhn is 2 seconds off here. So an attack by Cognition, whether or not that had the intended effect, we'll only know afterwards as we go and see. Timothy moves to the left. Top 5 here. They slide on through. Sebastian pauses for a second. He's got to know where he is on the map. This is such an interesting finale, because you got Chris Pritchard in the chat saying, wanted a new pair of legs. Well, Chris, you've got one more race up after this. Tiki Turns, I'm sure you've got it in you. That is a technical track, technical map that you can bring something out to and you can help out. But it's not like, I really want to stress it, it is so far from over, because Cycling Hub Velocity 333, Velocity 325. It is so incredibly far from over that if you give it everything here, if you fight to come on through, as you see Quinton and Casey just trying to work together, tick off Jennifer, tick off Rick, tick off Nigel, and then you've got Daniel as well. So they're fighting on through here to the end. Jeff Rooney, stellar performance. 1.6 kilometers remaining. On the right hand side, it is Niels Heldens with an attack. It is Timothy Tamont going with him, with Louise trying to play the role of the domestique, trying to close this down, but Niels is going, and Niels is going strong. 196 is his equalized heart rate, 197 here, and he is going away here. He's making sure that he's taking maximum amount of points away for Cognition and taking them into the bank of Team Cycling Up. And in doing so, he's getting rid of Jeff Rooney further down, but he's getting caught. We're reaching the top here of Cade Peak once more. Timothy Tamont with fresh legs is back in. He's in second place here as well. The gap between first and second is only 27 points as Corner Caper gets activated. Timothy Tamont here with a super. The Corner Caper being activated. You get 1 Corner Caper and 1 Quantum Shift. And there it is from Timothy. He's made his move. He's made his attack. And 192. He's got 1 second down to Niels, 1 second down to Sebastian Kuhn here. The captain, Mutt KG, says, on the edge of my seat. As Seb uses both of his. He uses Quantum Shift. Oh, Luis crashes. That is massive. Second highest scorer on the racing here. And Sebastian goes down. The captain of Cognition. I told you, it is never over until it's over. Luis and Sebastian, Cognition, 1-2, wham bam. They have crashed through the corner, not knowing the corner speeds, pushing it too far as Luis and Seb have got to fight it back. 400 meters to go. Timothy Tamont, his Team Hive captain versus his former team, Niels Heldens, Belgium versus the Netherlands. You can see it here in Timothy. You know he's going to want this one. Oh, Niels with a quantum shift coming on through. Here's the finishing straight. He's got Niels on the right, and Niels with 900 equalized once. He's going to push it, but here comes Timothy. He's pushing to the end. Glenn is saying, go, go, go. 50, 25, 20, 10. Finish line. Niels Heldens wins in front of Timothy Timon. Timothy's got nothing. Sepp, you know he's going to want that one back because the deficit is only 13 points. And remember, Team Cycling Hub, as Carl needs a towel, a wet towel. Team Cycling Hub are going to gain 10 bonus points for having matching kit where, you know, Cognition does not. So the difference on the scoreboard is only 1.3 points. That's how close we are going in to Tiki Turns. Amazing comeback here from Quentin Molyneux, and it's going to come down to the last map. 4 laps, Tiki Turns, Cognition, Cycling Hub. Don't count out Velocity. But what a race. Here comes Casey. He's trying to get the points away from Daniel here at the end. He just doesn't have it. Good sprint from Daniel LeBlanc. And we got Rig Woods here with the lights turned back on. Good result here for the team captain of Havoc. Hive and Havoc currently 4th and 5th with only 13 points differentiating them. And then we've got Frank Garcia finishing this one off. Let's load up the instant replays of that one because what a sprint. And as we see the instant replays once more, just think, we've got one more race after this, but this is just week 3. Next week is going to be week 4, and you've got week 5, week 6. It's going to be good racing. I see Mansuni is in on a controller. Mansuni, make sure here in Tiki Turns, don't race with us on a controller. This is the last map in the CVRcade World Cup. The Omnium after this, Zone L, is the cross-play zone. Make sure to do that. Let's go and chat to Timothy Timon as we watch the sprint finish here again. Timothy, that sprint versus Niels, head-to-head. You got Glenn behind you. What was it like having an in-real-life cheerleader?
Oh, man. That's like an extra 300 watts right there. It's insane. I would not gotten that close here. Yeah, this is a game changer. I'll have to hire him for future events as well.
I love it. Timothy, good luck here in the next race. Currently sitting 4th. Going to Sebastian, here we go, because, oh, that one hurts. That one hurts, Seb. First Luis, and then you a few seconds later. What happened?
Yeah, my corner caper just ran out in the last corner, so I was too fast. But I have a matching jersey on. We get 10 bonus points too.
I just caught it now, Seb. Sorry, my apologies. 10 points. I mean, I don't even know how I saw it. You're so huddled over. You're so in the zone that it's tough to see. But Seb, last race coming up here. Tiki Turns. It couldn't be closer. Is Cognition going to finish this one off?
Yeah, I hope so. Just stay calm and let the others crash and pass them slow and easy.
Oh, just stay calm, let everyone else crash. Tiki Turns coming up. Sebastian Kuhn with a matching kit, so I apologize for my comment. Caught me off guard. I'm just not used to seeing it, but it is indeed a matching kit. Let's go and hear from Quentin Molyneux, because going into that last race, you were laying on top of your bike. Looks like some life has come back into you. And Quentin, one last race for the day. One last race for the week. I mean, is this the one where you just give it everything and see what sticks?
This is where I hope to keep the rubber side down and hope it sticks.
Have you had much practice on Tiki Turns?
Not enough as I would have liked, so it's going to be tricky.
Well, you versus Sepp here, the two captains, Cycling Hub versus Cognition, got Velocity close here. What do you reckon? Do you reckon Sebastian and those guys can keep calm and do as they say, let you guys crash?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Seb says, he doesn't feel any pressure, so he'll always be able to stay calm.
I like it. Reverse psychology from Quentin Molyneux. Good luck here. Last map coming up. Tiki turns as we see the highlights once more. Velocity in third place here. Don't sleep on them. They had a strong performance. Let's go and hear from Carl Axel Sander one last time. He's got to make sure, by the way, he's got his headphones on. So we cut to him if you want to get maximum bonus points to see Carl Axel Sander. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh. He's chatting to his team. I think the answer on that one. He looks across the screen. He doesn't see it. Again, commissioners may take a look on whether or not 10 bonus points, because you do have to be available throughout the racing here. But instead, we'll go and hear from Casey Shum, because Casey's in here as well. And it comes down to the team effort. It's not just the captain. Casey, only 11 points down here. It's a better situation than you had before. How do you feel about this? Are you confident in the team?
Yeah, I'm confident in our team skills. I mean, I think it's become pretty clear, just based on history, that Cycling Hub seems to rise to the top on the skill-based stuff. You know, equalization kind of levels us out on the power stuff. So, yeah, I'm confident in my team. I'm not confident in my internet. I had 2 dropouts there, which probably cost me probably 4 spots. I do have a new router, but so now my dropouts are for 3 seconds instead of 30. So I gotta figure that out. But we'll reset and go get it here.
Well, if you get another router now, maybe it'll be 0.3 of a second next time, and then just continue on. Good luck, Casey. Good luck to everybody in here in the racing. Cognition, Cycling Hub, Velocity Hive. It's going to be a fantastic finale here on Tiki Turns. 20 seconds is all that's left before the final 4 laps of racing get underway. Cognition, Hive, Havoc, Cycling Hub, Velocity. Those are the kits. Those are the riders you'll look for in the game. Top 3 scores are what count. Here we go. 5 seconds. Can you hear the drum beat? Can you hear the bango drums? Because here we go for $250 and the pride, the honor of being the winning team of the week. Sebastian Kuhn off to an early start. You do have 1 underdog, 1 quantum shift available here as supers. Timothy and Carl both used theirs. They've got to be careful. This first right-hand turn here, they are pushing it. Quentin is near the back here. He's in 13th place. Not the best of starts for the team captain of Team Cycling Hub, but they're pushing through. They've got one of the arches. They're going to come on down here, and they all pass through safely so far. Luis and Sepp on the left here, but here comes a very tight corner. Who has practiced it? Luis goes down. He crashes early. 14 points is down to Velocity. Velocity has moved up above Cycling Hub currently, and they are gaining ground as Carl Axel Sander and Sebastian Kuhn head-to-head on the front. But where's the rest? As now they're moving on up. The scoreboard is all over the place. We've got 4 laps of this in front of us. Carl is used to supers. We're coming into the Tiki Masks turn here. Timothy on the inside as well. He pushes through as Luis crashes again. As Sepp, what? Oh, Sepp Kuhn somehow inside Timothy Tamont there as he doesn't crash. As we're coming up to another tight corner, Jeff Rooney. Further down, Chris Pritchard, who saved his legs, has gone down too. That is not good for Cycling Hub as they find their captain is moving on up. Look at the scoreboard. Velocity is 10 points behind Cognition currently. Now, how are they going to survive this one? Because Carl Axel Sander is the team captain. He does not have a matching kit last time I checked. Now my eyes, and Carl crashes. Ooh, Carl overlaps the wheels there, and he does fall down. And now he is down in 6th. And he's going to have to fight to get it up. It looks like it's going Cognition's way here. Sebastian has been flawless today with his racing, except for a 1 mistake on Cade Peak. Will that come down to haunt him near the end? Is he going to push it here? As Timothy, Team Hive is in 3rd now, with Carl Axel Sander going down. Timothy Tamont, who was non-existent on Roman Arena, is now finding himself in 3rd place, scoring 204 points here. Looking down, Jennifer, Kayla, you got Ben in 3rd here. So good positioning, good moves here for Team Hive near the front. As we can see, riders coming down here is Casey Shum. As Quinton goes down in the corner, he overspeeds it. He exceeds the corner speed. I think that corner is only 33 kilometers an hour. And if you go just a tiny bit too much, but he comes onto the straightaway and he uses the underdog on the place where you can really push it. He's got Niels ahead of him. He's got Chris. He slams into the back of his teammate. And just like that, you can see his face as well. Oh my goodness. Casey Badger says, I see 523 to 506. Is that live through the third race? Yes. Just below Quinton Molyneux is the live scoreboard that you are seeing. It is virtual rankings as of this moment currently. So if the race was to end just like this, Cognition would have 522, Cycling up 495, then Hive 471, and Velocity 457. So that is indeed the virtual live scoring as Timothy goes down, and that is not what Hive would have wanted at this time. So far it is a game of not crashing, not falling down, making the right mistakes and keeping calm under pressure. And who better, who stronger than Sebastian Kuhn, who on Roman Arena got rid of everybody. Then now Chris has gone down. Then on Cade Peak, the amount of skill we're seeing on display here from Sepp. But now the real difficult task comes through, because you've managed to create a gap. You've managed to get out in the front. Now you've got to stay calm. Don't let the occasion rise to you. Don't let it get up there. Don't let it get in your head. You see him at 34th though. Ooh, just through the corner there. He slides on through. He's 5 seconds up. Cycling up at 497. There's only 1.8 kilometers to go here. Casey, Team Cycling Hub, they've got to make sure here to put their second place into a secure place, because Hive and Velocity, there's only 1 point between them. Velocity and Hive in third and fourth have 1 point between them currently. But Carl is the captain. Carl does not have a matching kit. So they do have that 10-point disadvantage that they've got to fight through here. And with Timothy in second, it looks good for Team Hive currently on the road as they move on up. Vibeke with another crash. Chris with an underdog. And we come through the Tiki Mask again. I think this is a map, as we raise it more and more, some of these crashes will get ironed out and we'll see more riders as Quinton thinks he's going to go right. Then he goes left of the Tiki Masks. And next time we come to the start-finish banner, it will mark the last lap of racing here in week 3. It has been fantastic racing today. I mean, Dark Matter Tech, incredibly quick. Roman Arena, fantastic. Cade Peak, saw some tired legs out there. Now finishing it on a very technical Tiki turns. As on the front, Timothy Tamut, Ben Shuilong, second and third, both Team Hive members in this race. They're making a strong comeback, scoring 189 points. As Casey Shum goes down again here, just has not been their day as Sepp goes down as well. The 40-kilometer-an-hour corner here on the wall. He crashes. How does that change the scoreboard? Does that change it? It puts Timothy above Sepp, but so far so good. It's the last lap of racing here for the German, for the Belgian Timothy, for the Brit Ben Shuilong, as Chris once more goes down 700 meters. Cognition is leading. Cycling Hub is in second. I think if Ben could move up from Sepp here, they would put Hive closer to Cycling Hub, but it doesn't look to be that totally close just yet. As we see the straightaway pushing on through. Everybody in the chat, I love it. Truth says his orange shirt and patch doesn't count. No, it's got to be matching. Matching in the game is matching in real life. So as you see Quinton on the screen right now pushing down the power, he's got matching design in real life and in the game. 300 meters to go for Timothy. It looks like he will finally take the map win today that he's been missing. He got beat by a very strong and powerful Niels Heldens on Cade Peak. But unless somehow Sebastian Kuhn can pull one out of the hat here, it looks like Team Hive is Quinton once more. That could change a few things. that could potentially change it, as Quinten has to start up again as Marie gets a head full of Tiki masks. Timothy Tamont has got a right, he's got a left. You've got Glenn standing by him, and Timothy Tamont, the individual winner of Tiki Turns. But ladies and gentlemen, the MVP of Week 3 in the CVRcade World Cup, Sebastian Kuhn. Ben Shuilong will be third. You got Carl Axel Sander. Could have been a day. For a second there, Velocity was 10 points off the lead. And it shows how volatile the scoreboard is. It shows how you cannot make mistakes. It shows every single racing decision gets amplified. Vibeke versus Quinten, and Quinten doesn't even move. Vibeke cannot come around. And with that, Nigel Doyle, Moti Pikelny, Luis, Jennifer Garcia, Rick Woods, John Paul, Chris Pritchard, who just wants another crash in there, they will finish it off. Preliminary for the first time here in the CVRcade World Cup. Well, I guess official results, Cycling Hub beat as Luis crashes. Cycling Hub beat Velocity last week. We'll wait for official results. But right now, looks like Cognition is the winner of today. And like, if the racing is gonna get better, stronger, quicker like this, grand finale in week 8, that's gonna be so intense. Like, this is just improvement upon improvement upon improvement. And when we hit week 8, we hit, you know, the grand finale where $5,000 go to the winner, 2,000 per second, and so on. That's gonna be some of the best racing we've ever seen. But let's load up the instant replay here towards the end as we get ready to do our racers interview. 15 minutes, I think it is, until Zone L begins. So I'm not sure why it's 15 minutes later, but 15 minutes is when Zone L does begin for the cross play. As we see here towards the end, Quinten looking confused. But as we watch the highlights, Sebastian, not one, not two, but 3 amazing performances across 3 maps out there. Just stellar. That is
Cognition rules.
Is there, Seb, what was different today? What, like, did you just wake up and, you know, you had Ramones on, you had whatever band it was on Thursday? Did you just know this was going to be your day?
No, I was good rested. Yesterday I did a race on the other platform, but not going too hard. Legs felt good. I had a great team that worked very good at the power courses for me. And I had some luck too in the last race, only crashed once.
Now, Seb, this is just the beginning. We're in week 3, week 4, week 5. Are you going to build on this? Is this going to be the beginning of a possible Team Cognition dominance, or do you think it was just a one-time occurrence?
That was only the beginning. We have much more in the pocket.
I like it. I like the talk, Sebastian. Once more, the chat is loving it. Sebastian, congratulations. You and the team, Louise, Moti, Daniel, fantastic effort across the board from you guys. Sebastian, everybody, make sure to give him a round of applause in the chat. We've got Cycling Hub as well, who at the end of the day secure their 2nd place. Tumultuous effort today. We're not seeing Quinten Molinés in a state like that in quite a while. But let's go and get an update from Quinten Molinés as we've got the highlights. Quinten, towards the end there, you guys secure 2nd place, but it got a bit dicey. It was 3rd, it was 4th, then it was a possible 1st. What do you take away from today?
That the name that we've been calling out for the last 3 weeks is also most definitely our biggest opponent. Props to Seb for being such a tough racer. Team Cognition earned it today. We made mistakes. I made a lot of them. The legs weren't really there either, so it was overall not the best week for us. And then if Cognition shows up in strength, then it gets multiplied. So yeah, props to them.
Now, how do you stop someone like Sebastian going forward? How do you stop the team? Because even Luis was up there with a stellar performance today.
I'll just hack his keyboard so his down arrow just gets stuck. I think that's the only way.
Well, that is a bold strategy, and if it pulls off, and if it works, let me know, because that would be excellent. But Quentin, man, second place nonetheless. Great effort out there. Congratulations. We've got more racing coming up next. Quentin Molyneux, everybody. And also thank you to Casey Shum for being in the broadcast today for Team Cycling. I'm hopefully sticking around, riding some controller racing coming up here next. But towards the end there, it was Timothy Termont who took the solo victory on Tiki Turns. Timothy, it wasn't the start you wanted. You came back stronger. I mean, is it a day where you think what could have been for you guys if you didn't have those issues on Roman Arena?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was feeling really well in these last two races. Maybe it was because I didn't do Roman Arena. I don't know, because that's quite a long one. But still, I felt really good. And yeah, these technical issues. It's good that we got them out of the way now instead of the finals, I guess. So it'll be all good. It's a bit laggy, but I'll try and fix that for Tuesday's solo cup. Yeah. Also, Glenn, in that last race, Tiki Turns, he was my co-pilot. Like every turn, he's like 46, 47 next, slow down, Tiki's 41. It was amazing. It's next level gameplay. It really is.
Well, that's excellent. But whatever you've done with your new camera position, first of all, you're covering your face with a microphone. And secondly, I think you might have some loose connections somewhere between the webcam and the microphones as well. So we should definitely look into that going forward. But Timothy, Glenn, good to have you on stream. Good to have Hive as well. Kayla, Jennifer, and Ben. Excellent performance all around. Really, today, everybody just killed it. I mean, fantastic racing. Everyone was out here. We've got velocity as well here towards the end, and once again, like Carl, I feel like you're the nearly man, because at one point in the race here, you guys were 10 points off the victory, and then you finish a bit further down. What's going to change? Because you guys have been so close for so long. What needs to change for you guys to be on the top?
Oh, yeah, we're getting there. You know, we think we have a good talks and team strategy, and a good collaboration on everything. But the individual skill level has to go up a little bit. But I think we're coming strong. But sometimes when we're having a good day, we're up there. But like today, not really. But we're gonna be there in the end. We're getting better every day.
Oh, you can definitely tell. Everybody is just bringing it on up now. Looking forward, this is just week 3. Are you excited about the coming weeks? You guys are getting closer. There's the grand finale with $5,000 to the winning team. Are you guys already starting to think that far ahead?
Oh yeah. I think everyone does. I think everyone looks at this, practice, important practice, and everyone wants to peak, both in endurance and also in skill. So yeah, I think everyone is building up. When it's going to be crazy, a lot of intense fun in a couple of weeks. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, I think we all are. Thank you, Carl, and great racing from you and Velocity, and also thank you to Nigel for being on the stream here today. Thank you very much for streaming in your efforts. I'm very interested if Rick can hear me again, because Havoc has been doing quite well. You had John Pyle up there, you had Rick Woods up there for a while. Rick, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, Jesper, I hear you.
Perfect. Rick, that last race, Havoc, you've got John Pyle, you got yourself in there. Looks like you guys have been gelling a bit. You're the newest team coming to CVRcade. Have you guys been doing more practice together?
Yes, I think being a brand new team, we're starting to put a few things together. It was very, very hard racing today, so I'm going to take a shameful plug for the CVRcade store. So if anybody needs any sweat rags, if you have a video of it here, you can buy that into the store.
Brilliant. I give that one a 10 out of 10, Rick. That was a perfect. You're a natural. Now, are you going to stick around for Sonel? Are you going to freshen out the legs, or what are your intentions?
Yes, I have to go pick up my wife here in a few minutes, and so I'm just going to spend easy for a little bit here, and then head across town.
Oh, what a shame. Well, anyway, Rick, you got to make sure you stay in the good graces. But again, guys, that plug deserves a gif in the chat. Rick Woods, everybody, Team Havoc. 6 minutes, as you can see, until the racing begins. Let's get a word from the man behind all this, making it possible. You heard Casey Shum praise physical equalization today. I think this was a greater showcase of what physical equalization can really allow. Let's go and hear from Frank Garcia here into the next racing, because this was his racing in here. Frank, that last zone, from where I stood, it looked like a lot of fun. Was it the same being in the racing?
I've been waiting for about an hour to tell Seb, hey, watch my equalized heart rate. I would have worked with you if I wasn't dying just trying to stay on your wheel. So I was almost recovered when he decided to attack again, which I could follow that attack. But I would have worked with him. But Seb was really strong today. That was good stuff. I thought it was good to be in and sort of see some of the tactics. It was interesting. We had a three-person break with Chris and Seb, and I think Chris was waiting for Q. I kind of wish Chris would have worked with us. I'm sure Seb wishes I would have worked with him a little bit earlier, but I think we all three would have stayed away. I don't know what would be the best tactics there. I hope to see some chat and CVRcade riders. You know, in the end, Chris had to go and finish anyway, so it might have been easier for us to do in the break. That's the kind of stuff, the long explanation there is the kind of stuff I get into to sort of understand and see how the tactics are playing out. And so it was really a lot of fun. The team races are just incredibly hard in terms of people going all out. A lot of skill in the last one. But anyway, a lot of takeaways for the team on stuff that we'll look at. And so good stuff.
I'm sorry I left you hanging, Frank, for a bit over an hour now from the first race. I apologize.
I was like, stop, man, you really want to just let me follow your wheel. I'll help you, man, later. But no. He was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave you for dead. And I guess that's what the dead do. They leave the other people for dead. So
that's funny.
Good on Seth for that.
We heard Casey briefly mention equalization being awesome today. Like, we saw two races in particular. We saw Roman, we saw Cade Peak, where, like, until the end, you had 15 riders all together. What's it like to see a concept that you thought up in your mind working this well?
Wait, there's a lot to it. I was tired, but I could I could catch draft as well. And there was one point you're like, oh, he's probably getting 30% draft, and I was getting like 55 because it was when you're in a long line of riders. And that makes a huge difference. A lot of different mechanics, but we love to see close, hard racing. And that's what physical equalization is about. Inclusive, include everybody. Everybody can race. And as I like to say, you can still go out and have a beer. A burger after the race, and so good stuff there.
There you got it, everybody. Frank Garcia racing in the last zone. I think we've got Ben Shuey along, who might be joining in on the broadcast in a second. I think Wim Moisen may also be looking to get into the broadcast. DK, Chas, Truth, Crucial Ball, you guys, if you want to get in on the broadcast as well, just let us know. Send us a message, and we'll look to get you on, because we're about to have some controller racing, cross-play racing. As you may have noticed, the look around us has changed. That means the CVRcade World Cup for the week has ended. Of course, there's so many takeaways. You've already had Frank say he can't wait for the discussion on CVRcade riders. Of course, on Wednesday, the Arcade Corner with Beth, York, Victor, and I will be discussing all the racing that has taken place this week, because it's not just today. Like, Tuesday was fantastic. Thursday was fantastic. All the Cade racing, all the Caders are just increasing their skill level. And what we saw in the last zone, incredible. Like, literally, one crash is the difference between first and fourth. One decision, first and fourth. One super usage, first and fourth. And as the racing progresses, like, we're gonna see the grand finales of all three CVRcade Cups be nail-biting affairs. Of course, that's happening in week 8. That's 5 weeks from now, where there's gonna be massive prize purses because you've got $30,000 as the overall prize purse. You've got a lot of it going to the CVRcade World Cup. You've got a lot of it going to the Solo Cup. A lot of it going to the Derny Cup. So whichever one you qualify to the grand finale in, you're gonna walk away with a significant piece of the pie. Now, here in the cross-play racing coming up next, as we see Darren Edwards here is out on a keyboard. We're going to have riders from all across the world. They're going to be racing on their controllers. We're going to do the same zone as we did last, or the same races as we did in the last zone, but we're taking off the abilities. So Dark Matter Tech, you're going to have Racer's Edge and Comeback Kid. Roman Arena is just pure skill, no abilities, no supers. Kate Peak, we're going to have Quantum Shift Corner Caper, and Tiki Turns Quantum Shift on Underdog. So 4 races here. They're going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a bit of an after party where everybody can have their burger if they so choose. That gets underway in 35 seconds here as we've got the racing. Kate Mott says, great production today, Jesper and Victor. Really like the new looks, pop-ups, new feel. Mott, Katie, we've got so much more. Like, we have so much more, and we work stupid hard. But then, like, you know, when we actually go to test all this stuff, we're like, oh, we should change that. So I wish we did more streams just so we got more testing, because you can only really test in a real environment such as this. But trust us, we've got more where that's coming from. We've got a whole new this thing called X keys that we got new toys. I'm very excited to be using that very soon, as we've got racers on controllers and we've got racers physical. Ben Shuilong here is taking on the racing as Frank Garcia crash. We got Ben on Comeback Kid, who just comes around the corner here up against the controllers. He's got to be careful, he's going to slide out. And Ben Shuilong exceeding the corner speed. Oh, Ben knows. That was a good attempt, though. We're gonna see back to the front here as Casey, Mansuni, Timothy, and Wim. As Mansuni just slightly bumping into Casey there, 2.4 kilometers to go as Mansuni crashes on down. The first one is free, the second one you've got to pay for. Mansuni definitely having to reach into the community chest on that one. Casey on the front here, 1,435 equalized watts as he's got his controller, so a bit of a change of scenery. He's being closely contested by Timothy Tomot. I wonder if we're going to see Glenn jump in as well, but I think Glenn may be riding, or may be in Timothy's house, which means his machine is not readily available. Here goes Timothy. Timothy wants us to go to audio. Timothy, what's up?
He has his computer here with me. He just had an error, like his first event didn't show up. Like the second, third, and fourth event was there, but the first event didn't show up, so he'll join in the next race.
Come on, Glenn.
Yeah, him. If we can move the camera, he can get points for matching jersey and in-game audio as well. So he got this. He got this.
Oh, okay. Got it from Timothy. Timothy saying to, whenever Glenn is on screen, just adjust the camera accordingly to move it over to his position. I gotta roll the eye from the executive producer here going, what do you think? But Wim Moisen, for the first time ever, has changed out his kit. Wim owns more than one piece of cycling kit here. We're not seeing the Dutch national champion, but you know, you've got to win the race here if you want to celebrate, if you want to show off the rest of the kit here. But currently, it is Casey Shum who is pushing on through. Now, we are aware that what we are also building, what KG and the rest are for these non-physical races, for controller races, we are building a new layout as well that showcases non-physical stats. Because in our physical racing, we just show equalized heart rate for now, but that doesn't quite, you know, apply to this. If that's to go by, all of these guys they're all got no heart rate. But when you look at their faces, they're all so laser focused, except for Casey, who breaks that in the best Sepp Kuhn impersonation. But Casey flying through the corners here, first of 4 events, he's looking good. Of the physical riders, Nigel, Niels, Ben, Frank, Kayla, they're all just riding out their legs as Nigel wants to ride this one through. Timothy crashes, and he is going to find himself further down than Mansuni. So, I see 17 of you have stuck around for the unofficial Xbox Championships of CVRcade round, what is this, 5 or 6 now? But we're going on still, 200 meters to go. Casey Shum knows this map really well, and you can just see as he maximizes all the corners, all the speeds, and just like that, without crashing a single time, Casey Shum wins the first of 4 events here, taking home 30 points. Wim almost crashes at the end. He comes across the line in second. Timothy adapting the lean in and stare at the screen position here, getting more aero as he allows himself to lean back. You've got Nigel finishing it off here, just testing out the legs. There's no cognition this week as they don't need to repent after all of them had a stellar performance today, so it's only Nigel, Doyle, Niels Heldens, Ben and Kayla that are back for more. But let's load up the instant replay as we get ready for the next set of races, which that will see Roman Arena without any supers. Now that is going to be very interesting because there are places you can crash when you're on a controller that you can't really crash when you're physical. As I see, Frank Garcia has gotten in on a controller. I think first question up here is, Casey, does that worry you that Frank is coming in here to race against you?
I'll worry about Frank when he beats me once. I think I'm like 8-0 against Frank in the last 2 weeks, so when he gets 1 in the win column, I'll worry about it a little bit more.
So 8-0. How many do you think will be in your column before he'll get 1?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, he knows the game really well. There's not a lot of skill on this course, actually, so you can just about ride this course. Well, no, wait. I think every corner here is 30. I'm sorry. Wrong course. Every corner here is 30.
We can see the
no,
moment.
I mean, he could beat me at any point. I was really close to a couple mistakes there. That was probably my smallest margin of victory on the controller all week. So clearly everyone's doing their homework. Timothy knows it really well. Wim's getting really good. I think with the Xbox guys, they're in a little more beta style than us. So I think they struggle a little bit more with certain circumstances. So and I even think I heard Frank say their controller is even a little more finicky. So I think they're all getting the hang of it, and you're starting to get my heart rate back, maybe.
I'll come back in. I see you've scared Frank off. Frank has left the stream just so he can go concentrate on beating you, Casey. That's how invested he is. Now, we can say this because Frank isn't here to retaliate back, so isn't that how it works, Mutt KG? Casey Shum, everybody, winning the first one. Let's go and chat to Wim, because Wim is in the broadcast here, one of the Xbox riders who has really, really adapted into the community so well. Wim, we've seen you in Rise and Rip. Is it true you rode CVRcade with your mom the other day?
Yes, I did.
What did she think?
Oh, the first race she was watching and I was riding physically. And the second Rise and Rip ride, she was on Xbox. But it was great because when she saw somebody fell, she was screaming. And I don't have such a real reaction, but she had. She reacted if it was in real life.
Could you give us
really
could you reenact it for us, for everyone here, just so we can get a feel for what that was like?
Right now, no, I can't.
Next time you crash, Wim, I'm expecting a play similar to your mom.
An imitation, okay.
Yes.
And I want to say, not all corner speeds are 30. It's full gas almost all lap, and only the last corner before the finish is the tricky one. That's where the difference is going to be made, I think.
I could see Casey shaking his head on the other screen there for a second.
This is not really an Xbox track. I think in next event they should be a little bit shorter or more technical, because here's... But we will see if it gets technical.
Just wait, Wim. Everybody's got to ease into it.
Yeah, I will wait. I just, when I said it, I thought I should wait and say it after the race.
Sounds like we need to take... Sorry, go on.
Practice is practice and a lap alone is really different than when riding with 6 guys.
So, event team, as you heard, we're going to have Dark Matter Vela next week. We're going to have Cityscape Water Village next week. We're going to have Electric Fidget. And we're going to see what Wim Moisen can do on all the technical maps. Good luck, Wim, here in the racing. We've got Nigel still hanging about down here. We haven't heard from him since the good performance from him and his team. Nigel, as we got a minute 30 to go, how did you feel about the World Cup this week? Were you happy with the team's performance?
Yeah, no, we went pretty well. I mean, it's a few mistakes, but no, generally pretty happy because there were those last two events very technical, and I think we did pretty well on them. We'd all done a bit of practice on it, done a bit of, checking out the courses, a lot of discussion on corner speeds and how to handle it, and we went pretty well on it. I think we lost it in race 2 on, was it one of them, Carl forgot that you could crash into other riders, so he changed lane and crashed into somebody, so, he had to catch back up. What was that on KP? Yeah, so, still things to learn.
He conveniently forgot to mention that in his post-race interview, so Nigel, it's good you can call out your teammate.
Yeah, but it happens to all of us, You make in the heat of the moment, you make a mistake that you wouldn't normally do. That's racing.
Well, Nigel, 15 seconds to go. You're one of the brave heroes here doing it physically, so good luck. May Godspeed be with you, because the controllers are all lining up and they're wearing up the engines here. You can see Casey just sneaking off the line here, pushing it. He's getting a bit of a gap here, and he's pushing across. Timothy, Wim, Mansuni, Frank. You know where everybody's eyes are going to be. Frank versus Casey here. 8-0 currently to Casey by Casey's own estimation. Whether or not it's actually that, we'll probably let the fact checkers decide that. As you can see, Timothy Tamont here getting on arrow, then going back out. I would love to know what determines Timothy's position here, because you see him is rocking back and forth. Casey doesn't even move. Timothy wants us to turn on his audio here. We could just not, just to try and annoy Timothy. So Vic, what do we think Timothy's moving back and forth here? Is it? I'm not even sure. We'll see. We'll see. Timothy is out of camera now. He's back in. Oh, racing is on here as everyone is pushing on through. Casey's on the inside, getting a bit of draft as Mansuni goes in the door here. Frank in the middle. Oh, Frank. Ooh, that was close to a crash as he bumps Timothy to the left here. 68 for Frank Garcia, 69. Casey wants to get out of the way here, but he can't until now. He gets in, he finds the wheel here. If you're Nigel, if you're Ben right now, you're like, what did I sign up for? As the horses ride in the front. The Xbox players here, they're all non-physical, so they're pushing on through. Casey looking on down. Casey, do you have an appointment, or is there something you're looking at?
Moti's sending me text messages about the race. I'm like, oh, who is that?
That is very Moti. I saw Moti.
This is interesting, actually, because there is like a slingshot draft. This is like, Jesper's probably not familiar with it, but this reminds me of like NASCAR restrictor plate racing right now. Like, if you can get in a lane behind somebody, you can kind of slingshot their draft and get a little momentum. But Wim and Mansuni kept kind of pinning me against the wall there, so I couldn't get out and get in a draft.
Now, the only bit I know about NASCAR is the guy who crashed the other day, who survived or whatever it was. But that's my very, very limited knowledge of NASCAR. So, thanks for that, Casey. We'll see how this one plays out. And I know Moti was in the chat trying to watch Zone K. Moti, you have to wait for the broadcast to end. Then Zone K will be available to watch here alongside Zone L. It is also available on YouTube later tonight. So don't worry. You can re-watch the reaction later on. You've got Wim Moisen here slowing down, 43-37 here as well, as Frank Garcia is pushing it to the edge. We're still all like eagerly anticipating Wim Moisen's victory scream or crash scream when that happens, as we are anticipating what that's going to sound like. What do we think about KG? Is it like a high pitch, like is it a short like wave, like ah, or is it more of like a drawn out like ah? Like, I don't know. What do you think? I got a smile at Wim. That's it. We're winning. As Wim. Oh, he knows. Wim said that was the corner. Oh, wait. You gotta do that again, Wim. There it is. Oh, I love how Wim, you are like to Casey. Casey, it's not 30 kilometers an hour. That's the corner you gotta be careful about. And you and Mansouri are the only ones to
I
crash.
know.
Shout out though. That is 10 Jesper points for the scream, everybody. Wim Moisen there, gaining some Jesper points early on. Going back to the front, 3 racers have not crashed yet. Casey Shum, Timothy Tamont, and Frank Garcia. As they're all racing for the slingshot draft, as Casey Shum called it here. And there is, you can see, well, on the speeds, Casey at the back here is 69 kilometers an hour. Frank on the front is 65. So if you time it right, you move like a yo-yo. You move like an elastic. You come to the front, then you lose the draft, and you move to the back. As I see the chat. Yeah, Mark KG, that crash was nasty. Jesper points for Wim. Ka-ching! And Moti says, yep, this is fun to watch first. Moti, you should get on. I hope you and your kid, you should get your kids on here. I know they have been staples of the past. I would love to see them on here racing controller with you. I mean, Timothy bought a controller. It was with him within the next day. Sure, if you buy 2 controllers, you can race with us as well. 8 kilometers remaining. Timothy and Casey here pushing on through. This is non-physical racing. Timothy is unsatisfied. Timothy, this time we'll go to you. We'll allow it. Timothy, what are you unsatisfied about?
Oh no, Glenn's messing with me.
What are you doing, Glenn?
I'm doing nothing. It's all him.
Not me.
Are you sitting on the bike right now, Glenn?
No. He's not.
No.
Oh,
I'm
it's
just
Timothy.
sitting on the chair.
I was going to say, that would have been a very impressive feat by Timothy to get Glenn on a bicycle, but Glenn, this is your chance. This is the first time the world is hearing the voice of Glenn here, as Frank is getting spat by the front too, so Casey and Timothy riding away here. But Glenn, we got you on the top row. We can just see the edge of your face here. Welcome to the broadcast, Glenn.
Hello, welcome. Thank you.
Could you share your story? How did you get involved with CVRcade?
Yeah. It was just, Timothy asked me. I play a lot of games with Timothy, and he he got into cycling and into CVRcade, and he just asked me to, check it out on the keyboard, and I kind of, just it streams, and yeah, having a lot of fun.
Glenn, it's a pleasure to have you on board. I hope to see more of you. I also am excited for you guys to check the faulty connection on the microphone plug at some point. But Glenn and Timothy, thank you very much for being in the broadcast. As you saw, the first ever of Glenn. So Casey Shum, Timothy, Frank has made it back here. Don't sleep on Frank just yet, but now they're just not giving each other the draft. Everybody side by side here. You see Casey now pinning Timothy into the side, giving Frank a draft though. So Frank now 65 k's an hour. He is moving on up. Moti says, yes, that's a great idea. We got the Logitech that Casey recommended. We've got the exact same one, Moti. It's brilliant. And he says, family busy making Sepp Kuhn costumes. He has surpassed the PJ Masks in hero status. I'm not surprised in that one whatsoever, as we've got Sebastian Kuhn also in the racing here. As Timothy moves on through, Casey takes the inside lane here. So he's coming on through side by side, 5.3 kilometers to go. This is going to come down to, first of all, do you crash? If you crash, you're going to have a tough time making it up, because Frank, Timothy, Casey, they all seem to have this one pretty much nailed down. Then it's going to come down to who gets that slingshot draft effect that Casey was talking about earlier come the finish line, because they've all got the same power. They've all got their controllers, as we've got the bot patrol coming on up here in front of them. So this is like, that scene out of The Lion King where you've got Simba at the bottom and you've got all the animals running on in. That's what's happening here with Casey, Timothy, and Frank. It is the charging pack here catching their prey out on a map. Unfortunately, Ben, Nils, and Nigel were all riding together as they get caught by the bot patrol. And they slide right on through. Ben Shuilong is like, this is the second time in 2 weeks now that I have to endure this. Where's my power? Where's my... Can I have a power? Can I have a super, please? We'll see. Casey Shum, Timothy Tamont, and Frank Garcia. Frank, is losing grasp a tiny bit with the front group here every single time. So he does manage to get back on, but I think where he catches up, where he gains back the advantage, is in these last two tricky corners. It's the Colosseum and it's the finish line. That's where Frank is making it up here. As you can see, he's pushing on through here. He's going quicker than Timothy and Casey on the front here. Now, again, coming into the Colosseum, how slow are they going to go? 44, 43, 46 from Frank, pushing it all the way to the edge here. There are no supers available. And then Frank goes down. Bye. Frank Garcia. Just at the end, he pulled that trigger. He exceeded the corner speed, and from the trio down to a duo, Casey. Is that to be expected from Frank Garcia?
Yeah. Timothy played a good one here. Timothy got me on that last corner. He dive bombed that one pretty hardcore.
Oh, there's still one lap to go. For me, I see... Well, I've got 3.1 kilometers to go on my screen, so...
Oh, I thought it was race over.
What? There's one lap to go.
Timothy did the same thing.
How?
We both did it.
Well,
when you were calling it over, Timothy dive bombed me that last corner. I thought we were done.
Timothy, did you think the same thing?
No. I calculated. What were you thinking, Casey?
That's called a motivicality. Both of them can't believe it. And that lets Mansuni back in, and lets Frank back in, and lets Wim back. How? Timothy Tamont and Casey Shum both making the same mistake. I was like, am I wrong? I see 3 kilometers left. I see one more lap. It's 4 laps. What? Both Casey and Timothy. You could even hear Casey put down his controller and move on to the next race. He's like, oh no! He gets it back up. But this gives Timothy the advantage. But Mansuni is technically in the best spot here. Mansuni in third has got the best spot. But even Casey Shum, he too, I mean, he's going to get the draft here coming on through. So just the dramatic effect here from all the races. Casey still can't believe it. 1 and 2 on the road. And now they've got to push it through once more. Casey may just be out of the draft here. So not getting that tiny bit of the draft. It could be the difference between getting back on or not getting back on. We'll see if everybody can push on through. Timothy with a 1 second advantage. But Frank and Mansuni side by side. Frank goes one over there because he doesn't want to get -6 draft. If he sits on the shoulder of Mansuni, you will get -6 draft because of aerodynamics. So he moves one more over to not get that penalty on him. But Timothy is being closed in now. Mansuni has caught him. So has Frank. Casey Shum still just wishing he'd go that tiny bit quicker. But can he get back on here? He's pushing on up. He's going tiny bit slower than the rest. You can still see him. 3 lined out racers. Timothy Tamont, Mansuni, and Frank Garcia. Timothy literally facing his screen straight on up now as he's got to watch every single pixel. All 16 pixels. He's got to get on the screen now as he gets ready, gets in the wheel of Mansuni. He leans in again now. Casey Shum just on the edge here. Still not back. As now Mansuni, 60 kilometers an hour. He slows down. Timothy slows down. This is where Frank crashed last time. You got Casey Shum as well back on here. Here comes the sprint. Frank Garcia has got the draft. Frank has got the best option here. But can he get around? Mansuni attempts to block. Nobody's got the draft. Frank is boxed in. Frank can't go anywhere. He's got to hope that the inside opens up to his advantage. Timothy leans forward. But Mansuni, Timothy, it's going to be on the line. Mansuni, I reckon, who took that one. Mansuni wins. Frank takes second. Timothy third. And so Casey Shum and Timothy Tamont throw away a first and second by thinking it was the last lap. Whew, what about that race? Wim next over the line. And you got Ben and the rest further down. Ben, I do believe, yes, that is correct, as I see the question in the chat. Let's load up the instant replays on that one as we get ready for Cade Peak. Now, Cade Peak is going to be a different animal. Wim wanted more technical nature of the map. You're about to get technical, Wim, as the next map up is indeed Cade Peak. Frank Garcia coming through the corner, crashing. You get Timothy Tamont here on the line, trying to push it on through. Now, we don't have Frank, we don't have Mansuni, we do have Timothy. Timothy, that last sprint. Talk me through the thought, the process, the tactic you had.
Wait, the last one or the one with Casey? Because
well, the one that actually counted.
Yeah, no, I was fully boxed in there. Like, because they had Frank was even more, but Frank got second apparently, so that's a bit weird. But yeah, I got third in that sprint. Yeah, they had the inside lane. I tried to slingshot past, but I went to the outside lane instead of the inside lane to swing past, and yeah, that was the mistake that cost me the win there.
Well, Timothy, back on your horse, third on the overall. Mansuni just projecting into the first place here. More to go. You got Glenn next to you. Tell Glenn to get his computer. I like those words. Tell Glenn to get on his bike and get in here, get riding with us. You could swap places. Get Glenn physically on your bike, and we can see you can see Timothy realizing that too.
I told him he doesn't. I just told him the same thing. Come right here, but he doesn't want to. I guess.
Glenn, it's okay. We won't peer pressure you at all, guys. In the chat, let's peer pressure. Let's
How
go
many
to
Jesper
Casey.
points does he get?
Oh, 100. I've already told him 100 Jesper points if he gets on the bike and rides. One map down, 100 Jesper points.
He gets some points as well.
You can talk to him. We'll see how many Casey points you can get. Casey, you say you blame me. I was getting too hyped for one lap to go. I apologize. But now you've got to deal with the aftermath. Frank says so much for 8-0.
Yeah, he won one. Good for him.
Oh, he's back in. Oh, wait, Casey. I think Frank has joined just for this. Frank, the floor is yours. Oh, can Frank hear us? Oh, I see Frank is in, but I don't think he can actually hear us. That's a shame, Casey. You've got him speechless. But what about this next one? Cape Peak, how does this differ?
Yeah, this track's really technical, so it really depends on how the traffic is when you get into the technical part or not. If you don't have clear lanes, you're gonna wreck all over the place with wheel overlaps and stuff like that. But if you're clear and you know the corner speeds, it's not too bad. But it's definitely a challenge on this one, getting through the second half of the lap for sure.
At least you won't have to worry about the hill this time around. You can just enjoy it, see the gradients tick up, and just ride on through. Casey, we'll try once more here as Frank Garcia has joined into the audio. Frank, can you hear me this time?
I think I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. The floor is yours. So much for 8-0. Well, congratulations.
Well, actually, I wasn't in for that because I didn't win that race, although I was in front of Casey, which felt good. But just tell Timothy, if he understood physics, he would have known that I was going to pass him there. He was in a -6 position, and I certainly was not. So just got to know those physics. He should have moved to the right. He would have been better off.
Explain a -6 position to the rest of us, Frank, that are not physics majors.
Well, you get side forces from the person next to you, and you get two things. It spoils your aerodynamics slightly, which the game does simulate, and then you also get side forces from the person next to you as well from their movement, and the game simulates that as well. So that's where that -6 draft comes from. And in controller racing, or as Casey would say, NASCAR restrictor plate racing, all that stuff matters a whole bunch.
You know, now I've got to go watch NASCAR restrictor whatever plate racing, because now it's the second time I've heard of it. But it's good to have you in stream, Frank. I'm excited to see if you can take the top spot up, because it's technically a win, but you mean Mansuni still beat you to the line. So we'll see Frank here on Cape Peak. Let's go and get the last word from Ben Shuilong, because it's the second week in a row I've seen that facial expression. Ben, what's it like seeing those guys just fly right on by?
That's tough. I didn't realise that it would be like this. I didn't realise the guys on controllers would be so crazy fast, which is why I tried to go for the sprint start in the first two races, and everyone else who's on a bicycle didn't even bother, because I think they knew what was coming. So I'm looking forward to the more technical courses where perhaps the people on controllers might be, just get going so fast that they might wreck a bit a bit more frequently. So I'm looking forward to Tiki Turns especially. We'll see what happens there.
I'm excited for Tiki Turns too. I think that's quickly becoming a fan favorite of maps amongst the community. Ben, glad to have you in the stream here. Have fun with Nigel, with Niels, with whoever else, Kayla, who's down with you racing or riding this one physically, not on a keyboard or a controller. At the front here, we got Timothy Tamont. He's 3rd overall. Mansuni, the Danish champion here, is out here, 83 points. You've got Casey at 72, Timothy 67, Wim 64, and here we go. Cade Peak, a very technical map on the second set of the course. So we're going to see Corner Caper as a super. We're going to have Quantum Shift as well as a super available here. So if you are listening and you're wondering, why is he saying super? Now, power-ups, as they used to be called, are now known as super and will be forever going forward as Wim crashes down. So if you want to refer to the official terminology of CVRcade, it is supers that are going through. Now, I'm going through this process of nailing it into my head that it's supers, supers, that sometimes it can be difficult to remember, because Timothy Tamont here with a Quantum Shift, he goes through as Frank Garcia goes down as well. 3 riders on the front here. Timothy, early Quantum Shift here, 67 kilometers an hour. He lets a bit go here. He slows down, him and Casey. Now, I'm not sure which of these two is in a -6 position here, but Frank's physics lessons could probably point it out, and this is why the game is so good. As Casey with a Quantum Shift here, not sure that was necessary, but using it here, going on through, coming through the tight little right left-hand turn, the mini-map we will show you in a second. We might even be able to show you here, I think, with the mini-map. If we showcase it to you, you will see that the map here on Cade Peak is incredibly difficult, as you've got to move left and right. As Mansuni faces that motion as well. As he goes down, we can take the map away again, so you'll see where they are out on course. They're just coming up to the top here, as Casey and Timothy are fighting through the rocks. You don't want to hit him, you don't want to crash down. Casey moves to the right. Timothy is in position here to maybe make a mistake, but no, Casey lets him out. Again, they swap turns here at the front. 45, he goes down. Timothy Termont and Casey breathe a sigh of relief. He was up there near as well. Casey, that was close again.
Yeah, Timothy and I kind of played, I think, a gentleman's agreement there. He dropped the Quantum Shift on that first little zigzag, which to me that was a fair play. Like, hey, I'm gonna give us a pass here, because it shifts you 2 lanes one way. Ooh, I wrecked. 2 lanes one way, then 2 lanes the other. So I did the same thing on the second zigzag to kind of return the favor. So it basically got us to the rocks together. And then I was trying to give Timothy room actually on most of those corners to not pin him against the rocks. It's hard enough. That was actually an accident, pinning him against there. It's hard enough getting through there solo and getting the corner speeds and then trying to pin people. So this is really going to come down to who can ride the course better. I made a mistake there, and so did Timothy. I don't think, or at least I didn't intentionally do something to put him in the rocks. But now we don't have quantums anymore, so we're going to have to be a lot more careful riding through one another.
Well, we've heard Wim's mom's crash scream. Can we see what Casey Shum's crash scream is like?
I don't really usually scream. Now, the noise Kayla made the other night is what goes through my head every time I get close. But I rarely make a comment, or at least not a family-friendly one.
Well, Casey, I'm sure we'll catch you one time on stream. But Casey and Timothy fighting on the front. And while this has been happening, I see Frank has had, 3-4 crashes? Can we get a status update, Frank? What's happening down in Garcia World?
Who put all those curves in the track?
I think I've seen, is it 4 crashes so far?
Oh, I lost count. So... yeah, I kept saying, well, maybe I should use my corner caper around here, and then about the time I would say that, I would go down. So,
well, we'll see.
There
Frank.
you go.
We'll see. Plenty of time to make it up. Timothy and Casey have both crashed in the front. Mansuni using his quantum shift here, so I think he's listening into what Casey said before about Timothy Tamont. Mansuni here is fighting for the top. 3 points, as you can see down here, makes the difference between Mansuni, Timothy, as Frank crashes once more. Maybe should have used the corner caper. He goes down once more as he's lost count. We got Wim up in fourth. Wim, you wanted more technical racing. You've got more technical racing. What's the status?
Yeah, I like it. I can improve. I still have my corner caper, so if I use him well, maybe I can come back.
Maybe. I believe so, as Casey crashes again here. Casey said it came down to who knows the course best. Casey, how are these crashes happening to you?
That one there, I didn't realize I was over corner speed, and I was just trying to move to the right for the next tighter corner, and I must have just been right on the corner speed, so I turned in when I was right on the border of corner speed. So it's just part of that is when you're right on the ragged edge, and this is the same for the bike racing too. It's like the person on front has the advantage because they can just focus on hitting their marks, where I'm focusing on trying to make up time and be faster. And then once you start chasing, you start making mistakes. You just got to focus on the best lap time you can get. I see Timothy just did something, so he wrecked. Yeah.
We can hear
I'm
from
just trying
Timothy.
Yeah, I'm pushing too hard is all I'm doing.
That is definitely some foreign language. I heard toast machine. What did you say, Timothy?
No, yeah, I wrecked again, but I'm still in the lead. I still got like 6 seconds. We still got this easy.
Wow, I think Matsuni has got something different to say, but we'll see. Timothy with his toast.
Frank again.
Timothy with his toast machine as Timothy goes down again. Well, Timothy, did you say 6 second gap? Is that Mansuni? Is he passing you? Is that a Dane?
What?
In the lead?
No,
in front of you?
No.
Glenn, I hope you're giving him stick there.
Where was the Dane?
Oh, right, 2 seconds up the road, also on the scoreboard, about 20 points up ahead of you, Timothy. You got Glenn in the corner here as well, so twice the brain power, but still not enough to beat a Dane near the front. What else? As you see Timothy on the left there, and Casey is making up the gap, but DK Mansuni. You got Yo Venom in the chat. Yo is in here giving some love to DK Mansuni on the front. Good racing. 2.5 kilometers remain here. He's got a significant gap. He's a 1 second lead here. Oh, and the points he's got a significant gap. On the racing here, 1 second is the difference. We're on the last lap of racing here. We're getting some hashtag DKs in the chat from Yo Venom. So Mansuni, is the pressure going to get to him though here? Because Timothy is putting it on hard here. 4-5 kilometers an hour is the difference here. As Timothy is coming up here on the outside of DK Mansuni. He's in the draft. And this is a big difference maker for the last race on Tiki Turns. Wim has gone down. Frank has gone down before. Niels Heldens is not too far off the back here. He's getting in some good exercise as Timothy catches up Mansuni. Timothy, it looked like you knew that was coming all the way.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That was all planned, definitely. I knew we would slide a little bit because that's a 45 corner, but it goes so fast that if you go like 60k an hour, you slide just through it, you don't crash. But if it's like one lane over, he'll definitely crash there. So, yeah, I knew that was happening.
Forcing a mistake out of Mansuni, and it was instant. So Mansuni now having to make it up. Casey Shum was with Mansuni for like 1 second, half a second, and then Casey Shum crashed himself here. But on the scoreboard, it's still wide open. 2.5 is the scoring multiplier here on the last race. Tiki Turns. 1 kilometer left on this. Timothy 10 seconds up the road. Then Mansuni. Timothy using his corner caber super. So he's pushing it here on the descent to try and get away. Really extending his gap on probably the most technical section of the map here. He's got to slow down though. He's coming into this corner. Oh, he just gets down in time, and you can see his facial reaction. That was definitely by a hairline as he wipes off the sweat on his chest there, or maybe just saying, ooh, that was a close one. So he comes on through, telling his rider to slow down. I think if you've ridden on a controller, you've done this what Timothy's doing now. You've made facial expressions, you've made hand gestures, you have tried to, puppeteer your avatar. Even though you're all controlling it with the controller, you're trying it with the rest here. As Casey Shum forces a mistake out of Mansuni, and just like that, looking on the scoreboard, down to 5 points between first and third. It's going to come down to Tiki Turns. Glenn was somebody who was giving Timothy advice on Tiki Turns. Glenn does have the third best time, or the second best time on Tiki Turns, only second to Victor and I believe. So we'll see. So technically the third best time, but so it definitely has to make something up. Casey Shum here coming through. He's looking on his screens. He will see that he's 3 points down on Timothy and 5 points down on Mansuni. And as the finish line beckons, Mansuni uses his corner caper, but it will be too little too late here as Mansuni goes on through. Frank and Wim have been duking it out, but it looks like Frank Garcia will beat Wim, and he will only be 8 points down on him now coming into Tiki Turns. And Tiki Turns is the real display of skill when it comes to a controller, because you can't just hold it down. There's really only one section you can hold it down, the long straightaway. On the rest, you've got to be on it like a car bonnet. But Frank Garcia, Wim Moisen, 1 and 2 next to come across the line. And you got Niels, you got Ben, you got Nigel. Shout out to all the physical riders for coming out here and getting in some exercise as well, as we're doing a bit of showcasing of the cross-play feature. Some of these are on Xbox, some of these are on PC, but all of them are having fun. As Wim is just waiting here. He wants to drag it out, but as he does so, we cut away. I see what you're doing, Wim, and I race you. You can't believe it. So, next up is Tiki Turns. Mansuni, Timothy, Casey, Wim, Frank, Darren, Edwards, Niels, Nigel, Ben, all in the racing here. We got one more race remaining, which starts in 5 minutes time, and then zones K and L will come to a close. K Peak was good fun. It was some high-level skill there from the Xbox players. Timothy causing a mistake. It was so quick that if you do not catch that, it is just in the blink of an eye. We see the replay here. Let's get a word from the real master of keyboard and controller. Glenn, are you out there?
Yes, I'm here, yeah.
Tiki Turns, what's your assessment? Mansuni, Timothy, or Casey, which of the three do you think is the best on this map?
I think Timothy, because he's the only one with a co-pilot today, so, yeah.
Oh, so you're saying Timothy because of you. I see what Glenn is doing here with the humble brag. Now, Glenn, I see you on the
speed.
Glenn, I hope that we get to see you on a controller as well, because I know you've been practicing this map. What are the keys to Tiki Turns? Because I know you spent hours on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of crashing in the beginning, and then once you figure out the corner speeds, once you figure out where you gotta brake, then you'll be all right.
Are you ordering pizza? Is that the map you've got open? Is it your Tinder?
Yeah, that's the map. Yeah, I'm gonna book my bread today, so I'm gonna just tell him the corner speeds, and he just has to brake and accelerate, and we're gonna win this easy.
I like it. Casey, do you think they're overcomplicating it? Do you think they're trying too hard?
Right, this isn't like, what is it, rally racing, where you've got the navigator in the passenger seat with the map and calling out lefts and rights, and, like, come on, learn the course.
You know, right now, Frank Garcia is going, Mod KG, can you get in here? I need someone to read out the corner speeds. But Casey, Glenn thinks Timothy is going to beat you guys. He thinks because of Glenn's presence, Timothy is going to win. What do you have to say to that?
This is really anybody's track here. I don't know this track quite as well as some of the other ones as far as corner speeds. I rode it a little bit just to practice for the physical race earlier today, but yeah, I don't know it that well. And you know, obviously Timothy has very similar experience to me on the game, so I expect Timothy to be tough on this one. And he's really good about getting out front and then kind of putting you in a bad position. So he's good at playing the game that way. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But it's real easy to make a mistake on this track. Real easy.
Definitely. Timothy did win the physical ride on this earlier today, so can he make it 2 for 2? That's Casey Shum, everybody. We got Wim Moisen, who, Wim, I know you've practiced as well. At one point, you held the quickest time on Tiki Turns. Now, that's no longer the case, But how do you feel about tiki turns?
Yeah, it's good that I have practice. I still have a map here that I found, but I think it will be difficult to look on it when I'm racing. But I hope to do better than last race. I have put down the crashes. Frank and me crashed 9 times, and the winner only crashed 3 times. So that really made the difference.
You know, I think you would crash less if you spend less time, pointing down all the crashes in the racing. But
after the race, you get a screen where it says the crashes. So I wasn't counting during the race.
I was gonna say
the game is counting for me.
Well, you're lucky that CVRcade is a great product. For a second there, I thought you were like an accountant going, Frank, 1, Timothy, 1. No, Wim, no, 1. Oh. It's a pleasure, Wim. Always fun having you in the broadcast. I wish you good luck, Wim, because I know we practiced this one together. Make us proud here on the 4th and final event on the day. I hope everybody has had a fantastic Saturday. I hope you really enjoyed watching the CVRcade World Cup Week 3. Now with some cross-play to round off the week, wherever you are in the world. Maybe you're in Europe, you'll finish this off, get some ice cream, maybe you'll go out, maybe you'll watch a movie. In the US, maybe you'll go back. Maybe all you want to do is just watch the replay of Zone K, and you're just sitting there going, Jesper, can you just shut up? I want to go back and watch past Jesper. I want to watch Zone K Jesper. I want to see how he did it. But 10 seconds to go on the scoreboard. 5 points differ from Casey Shum down to, from Mansuni down to Casey. Now, I don't know if we apply bonus points. Mutt KG is definitely the one that makes the call on that, which would put Mansuni in a disadvantage. And I think Mutt KG is inclined to say yes. So on that note, Mansuni, make sure to reach out and, be on the stream going forward. But Casey, Timothy, in a direct head-to-head here on who's going to win. Frank Garcia is there as well. 4 riders coming through here by the wall. Timothy Tamud. He crashes, even though he's got the Glen, and they both go, what are you doing? Like 2 Italians moving their hands on the screen. Glenn can't believe it, as it's a face palm. Twice the brain power. They're so arguing at each other. And Timothy crashes again. Oh, the Toastmeisters. And they can't believe it. There is a domestic dispute in Belgium right now. We may have to have cleanup in aisle 3. But the fight continues. 2 crashes as they bicker with each other. Timothy, what is going on here? I see you two fighting like a married couple.
50.
I think somebody said, God. Somebody sent a message to Glenn, I think, to sabotage this because he's not doing the best job here. He'll blame me, but it wasn't me.
I like how you blame your navigator when he's got nothing to do with your controller.
41!
We'll leave this on for a tiny bit, guys, because this is interesting to hear.
34. Why did you... I don't have the controller in my hands here.
Here, take it. Do it. Physical rider.
41. Don't go on the other side. Don't go the other side.
The other side. Okay.
There's a fence now, and then 33.
That was me.
Glenn and Timothy, go back to it. Casey, I know you're battling on the front, but I mean, this is to be expected.
Yeah, they sound like a 60-year-old husband and wife couple bickering or something. Yeah, I kind of knew what lane I needed to be in on that first lap, and I knew Frank, I think, got on my wheel and was all right, but I knew Mansuni was in a bad spot, and I'm not sure he even knew it. But one of the tips there is you got to know what lanes are going to be open around the next corner, or you're going to be in a world of hurt on this track. And I knew what I needed to get through that first little hurdle. I'm surprised Timothy wrecked. I seen him take off there, and I'm like, he isn't making the next corner at that pace.
I'm surprised he wrecked the first time, but when it came to the 7th or 8th wreck in the first lap, I'm like, okay, we'll see. But Casey, you look like you're winning. I'll let you get back and refocus because you've got a hungry Frank Garcia chasing you down right now. And let's test the mental aptitude of Frank. Can he talk while racing as well? Frank, 5 seconds down. Can you catch Casey? I think the answer, he might be muted, or the answer might be no.
Oh, I was saying I can't multitask,
Oh.
which means I can't, hit the mute button either. So there you go. But Casey's really putting on a class here. It looks like Mansuni's got a good chance. Oh, baby. Those are so close.
Frank Garcia in here in the audio. I like it, Frank. I'll let you go back, because 4 seconds you can easily make up here if you just nail the corner speeds in here. 2 laps remaining on Tiki turns. Mansuni goes down again. Casey is leading, then Mansuni. Timothy has had about 10 crashes. We'll wait for Wim Moisen, because I think Wim sitting there, he's going 1, 2, 3, 5. Wim, how many crashes has Timothy had so far?
I was just laughing so hard at their teamwork that I
if that's what you want to call
that
it.
I did not count. I lost counting.
That's fair, Wim. You're third right now. You can catch Timothy if you catch Frank ahead of you. So keep the throttle on. Wim? Oh,
I was distracted.
There's a rock ahead of you, Wim. You've got to move to the right there.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh man! I was just about to say, what's even more impressive is that Ben Shuilong is in fourth, and as I say that, he gets a face full of rock just the same. Ben from 4th to 8th here. Well, let him just focus it. Casey Shum coming to the Tiki turns, the Tiki maps here as well. He comes on through. He looks poised to take the victory. He goes by Thomas. He slows on down. I don't think we're seeing any PBs in terms of the lap records here, but it comes down to not making any mistakes. Frank and Casey have been so far so good. Casey, that tiny bit better. Timothy, I mean, trouble in paradise?
Save it a bit.
It's all Glenn's fault.
Wow. Oh! Stickies! Oh my god!
Guys, it sounds like we need to get you guys a Netflix TV special. Like, I think Sebastian has already named it Belgian Beavis and Butthead. You know, guys, there comes a point in time where you just have to put it down. Timothy, Tamont, and Glenn, good night. Wish you good luck going forward. Casey on the last lap, victory lap here, 15 seconds down to Frank Garcia. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, he will come on through. I see Mutt KG saying marriage, bickering / teamwork, same thing. Who is going to sleep outdoors tonight? A good question. That's a good question. I think they might just end up both sleeping outdoors. Separate camps. Oh, Frank Garcia. The number 7 on the back. Just missing 1-0. It'd be 007 James Bond. That's also coming out soon. Mansuni, another great performance here. Mansuni is too far down. So he would gain 8 points here. It still wouldn't be enough to catch Casey. He'd have to come up and beat Casey. And with 20 seconds being the difference, that's going to be a tough ask for Mansuni. Even though he's a Dane, that's going to be a tough task ahead of him. Casey comes on through here to the Tiki masks. He's got one more turn here. Casey, I see. Are you talking to yourself or are you talking to somebody?
No, I'm just kind of talking through what I do. It's like, okay, I got to get 50 miles or 50 kph through this corner, and then I can coast to this corner. I'm just kind of talking out loud. And there's one spot back there, actually, I think it's pretty heavy on the graphics load. I get low FPS. And I'm on a pretty good computer, and it did the same thing riding the bike. So there's one spot in the map, I'll have to send it to him later, where my FPS drops quite a bit. But yeah, I'm just kind of talking through, and once you get in a groove by the 4th or 5th lap, I got a pretty good groove going there. We are done, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There's one more lap. No, just kidding.
But yeah, you kind of get in a groove there once you get out front. It's that chasing that really gets you in trouble, and we found the same thing in the bike racing today. Not just the controller. It's when you get chasing, you make mistakes. You try to push it over the edge, and you got to pull that back and just hit your marks and not throw it into the fence every corner.
We just missed the finish there between Mansuni and Frank, but good finish nonetheless. But Casey, I like the fact that you have both Casey, Shum, and Glenn all internally. And that seems to be paying off better than having Glenn and Timothy externally. But Casey, chat is loving it. You got Sushi Simon saying GG, well done. Timothy finishing after 2 physical riders here. Absolute shambolic performance here from Timothy, Timot, and Glenn. Back to the drawing board. Teammate Ben Shualong comes across the line. Let's get the final word of the day. I'll get 2 final words. Let's first hear from Timothy, Tamont, and Glenn, because after all of that, Timothy, Mark KG wants to know who is sleeping outdoors tonight.
Nobody, because I just moved today, so I got my own place now.
Wow. I see Mark KG, you see they're already compromising here. Timothy, Tamont, thank you for being in the stream. Glenn, it's a pleasure seeing you and hearing you on the stream as well. Good to have you out here. Let's hear from Wim Moisen as well, just before we cut off, as we're seeing the final highlight. Wim, successful day. I saw a few smiles. I saw a few laughs. Did you have fun?
Yeah, I had fun. The last, the finish that you didn't capture, I can, in the last corner, I saw Masuni and Frank crash, and that gave a reaction to my finger, and I pushed the button just too early, and I also fell down. So we were all crashing in the last corner.
Oh, it's such a shame that we missed it.
But it was a good battle between Masuni and me in the last round. We were really battling. So yeah, that was great fun.
Well, we won't wait a whole hour until we hear from Frank the last time. Frank Garcia, the finish, Mansuni, I saw you in the chat saying that was fun. Talk me through the finale that we missed here.
Oh, are you talking to me, Jesper?
Yes.
Oh, are we talking about how the broadcast missed the unbelievable triple wreck power-ups used for the last 17 meters of the sprint, where I beat DK and Wim? Are we talking about you missed that portion of the stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
See, I that was if I saw it.
Yeah, well, and when I went down, I was like, oh, it's over. DK went down right in front of me, and then I was like, well, he still has the advantage. And then I was like, oh, I have a power-up, which was the comeback kit or power, whatever the one gives you for who's in front of you. And since he had crashed in front of me, he hit his power-up, but there was nobody in front of him, and I hit mine, so I got the extra power and went beyond him. That is the brilliant gameplay that was missed on broadcast, play-by-play. This is only radio because we don't have the video.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I mean, got a 99% perfect through the day. We missed Frank Garcia's finale. 99% wrong. Anyway, Frank, I'm glad you were in the broadcast. It was fun. Casey Showman, the rest.
You can say I'm number one later.
Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. We had CVRcade World Cup earlier, and we had the CVRcade unofficial Xbox Championships Cade Racing round. 9 trillion. It's still fun. It's fun every time. This gets more and more fun every time we do it. Skill level is coming up both in the physical and the non-physical. Now, I hope you have a great continued Saturday. I hope your Sunday is great, Monday. And then we're back on Tuesday with week 4, the halfway point of the CVRcade Cups. We'll be back with the CVRcade Solo Cup. But until then, we'll see you. But no, Beth, your goes crashing down. Termination, the suffering, the ability to... And she's unleashed everything in this attack. See just how much that win means to him. All the marvels. Kayla versus Allison, and to the line. Kayla Laguna takes the victory.